affected in Turkey and Syria with the devastating earthquakes in that part of the world. The team news: Arsenal have made an unchanged side for actually the 6th time in a row. It's the first time since April and May in 2015. Ramsdale in goal, White, Gabriel, Saliba and Zinchenko, Partey and Xhaka, Saka, Ødegaard, Martinelli and Nketiah. Red and white tops, white shorts and red socks, and Brentford in their change strip, the sky blue shirts and the navy shorts. Raya is in goal, Aya, Pinnock, me and Henry. In fact, they're going to play with 3 at the back as the players take the knee. Ruoslav will be the right wing back, Henry will be the left wing back. Then you'll have Norgard, Janelt, Jensen, Tony and Mbeumo. The referee is Peter Banks, and it's a lively atmosphere inside the Emirates as Arsenal look to bounce back. Pat Nevin.
Yeah, the game a lot of people looking forward to. Brentford, a huge test for them. But if you're going to win league titles, it's games like these you've got to win. That's what Arsenal have got to think of today.
Well, 10 years ago we lost our much-loved colleague David Oates. I attended a charity function in his honour last night, and I was challenged by Marcus Buckland to mention somebody who'd had his Oates in the first 20 minutes of commentary, and there was over 100 people in attendance. So if you are listening to BBC Radio 5 Live, Marcus had clearly had his Oates. He was on great form, but don't disappear now I've mentioned it. Stay with us, as many people do. Just under about 2 million people on a Saturday afternoon. We're also, of course, on the World Service as we keep you in touch with the goals as they go in. As White is forward, Arsenal, red and white striped shirts, playing from left to right as we look, and looking, of course, to bounce back after that defeat at Goodison Park. Certainly you sense that the crowd are aware of the importance of this game, with a visit of Manchester City to come on Wednesday night, a game incidentally that will be live on BBC Radio 5 Live. Partey in the centre circle, out towards Saka on this near side, the right, level with the penalty area. Ødegaard goes ahead of him, infield towards White, back then to Saliba, tries to play it back out towards the right hand side, and Ødegaard now takes over and runs in field. It's a left-footed ball. Gabriel in the centre circle, the beat of the drum coming in the end away towards our right hand side, where a group of Arsenal supporters all in black cheering on, and Nketiah turning inside the penalty area and tried to slip it into the path of Xhaka, who was forward, but it was overhit, out for a goal kick.
You know, earlier in the show we had Scott Minto and very few mentioning the fact that Chelsea had 72% of the possession in the game against West Ham. I think Arsenal may have more today, purely because the way the game started, when you have a back 3/5, you're sometimes not sure. I'm pretty sure here. Yeah. It's a back 5 that Brentford have got, there's no doubt about that. They will try and break sometimes, but they're going to try and hold Arsenal and defend with the lice and just break when they can.
Raya with the goal kick, comes then to Partey. It's a cushioned forward ball to Xhaka. Ødegaard goes back. Gabriel inside his penalty area to Ramsdale, all in yellow. Plays it short and forward. Brentford are pressing. Get it out towards Gabriel, who passes the ball now to Zinchenko. And the Ukrainian runs forward, and he's over the halfway line now, over on that far side. No goals to tell you about elsewhere around the country. We, of course, will keep you fully in touch, as we always do, and it's a busy afternoon. We're going racing now. It's the game Spirit Chase. It's at Newbury. John Hunt.
Always been a top 2 mile chase, this, a Queen Mother Champion Chase trial in many respects, and the 2 best horses in the race forge clear at the third last. Funambule Sivola and Grenadine, they're together, clear of Elixir de Nuts and Maliastic. Down to the second last they come. Funambule Sivola, who was runner-up in the Champion Chase 12 months ago behind Energumene, seems to have shaken off Grenadine as Elixir de Nuts and Maliastic come third and fourth, and down towards the last. Funambule Sivola in front, hasn't put it to bed yet though, as now Elixir de Nuts closes in second place. Grenadine's looking beaten back in third, continuing a miserable afternoon so far for trainer Paul Nicholls, but Funambule Sivola's onto the run-in, 2 lengths clear of Elixir de Nuts. Funambule Sivola, then runner-up at the festival last year, will surely head there once again, has won here by 3 lengths from Elixir de Nuts. Grenadine disappointing in third place. And just to tell you that John Bonn, star novice chaser, has won his match at Warwick this afternoon, but unimpressively, he's lost favouritism now for the Arkle Chase. The favourite for that is last week's Dublin winner, El Fabiolo.
Yeah, all the pointers ahead of the Cheltenham Festival next month. John Hunt, the best in the business, will of course bring you comprehensive coverage of BBC Radio 5 Live during the Cheltenham Festival, and indeed we'll be back with John for the Betfair Hurdle, which is off at around 3:35 later on this afternoon at Newbury. You haven't missed anything whilst you've been away. Here we are at the Emirates, BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds. A busy afternoon of sport. England and the West Indies women in the World Cup, that's on Sports Extra. Ireland, France and the Six Nations, that's on BBC Sounds. Scotland, Wales at 4:45 will be on Sports Extra. Brentford are attacking. Tony, right corner of the penalty area, and arriving very, very late was Rico Henry. And the left wing back inside the penalty area, closed down very quick by Ramsdale. In fact, him and Mbumo went for the same ball, has put it wide.
Did he clear it? The ball's played across there, and he's basically cleared it. Instead of, coming at that back post there, just get a little bit of a touch on it. He's almost put it out for a throw-in. He's 2 yards. He's dead in front of the goal. That is an incredible chance there. In the front, definitely the best chance of the game so far. And Brentford have just missed it incredibly.
What a miss by Rico Henry. It really was. The goal at Coventry, Shojo Saka.
Coventry 0, Luton 1. Luton Town going for a 4th consecutive away win for the first time in about 20 years. It was Tom Lockyer after just 20 seconds on the clock. It was a great big hole in the Coventry defence, and it was an easy finish. Coventry 0, Luton 1.
0-0 here at the Emirates. You're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live, and it's always a pleasure to welcome our listeners across the world to the BBC World Service. Sports World listeners joining us here in North London, where Arsenal, the leaders of the Premier League, in their red and white shirts, playing from left to right. Brentford have a throw, level with the penalty area on the left-hand side. Jensen is to take it. It's a long, looping throw, aimed towards Pinnock, flicked on by Ayer, headed away by the Arsenal defence. Janelt was there. Referee doesn't give a free kick. Brentford still have it, and they go back. Full time in the Six Nations. Ireland, France. Sarah Orchard.
Half-time, Ireland 22, France 16. France, they won their last 14 in a row. Can they hold on and get back into this? It's 3 tries for Ireland through Keenan, Lowe and Porter. 1 in the end from Penno, but still 40 minutes to play. Ireland 22, France 16.
Second half of that on BBC Sounds with Ireland in the ascendancy. Saka gets the ball towards White. White on this near side, 10 yards in from the touchline, passes a square ball towards Ødegaard. Ødegaard floats it out to the left corner of the area. Martinelli enters the box, plays it through to Xhaka, but it bounces away from Xhaka. You can hear the groans of the Arsenal crowd as Brentford get the ball away. Let's get an update from England against West Indies in the Women's World Cup. Adam Mountford.
Flying start for England, 41-4-1 out of 4 overs. Sophia Dunkley, 25 of just 12 balls with a 6 and 2 boundaries. They have lost though Dally Wise, who hold out to Henry for 11. 136 the target. England 41-1 in the 5th.
Commentary of that continues on Sports Extra. Arsenal have just won a corner kick. Still no goals anywhere in the country apart from that one at Coventry, where Luton Town are leading in the Championship. But Arsenal playing from left to right. Corner kick on this near side. Ødegaard waits. Hands on hips. The short option is Saka. Brentford have got everybody back. Ødegaard will now walk away and will leave the corner kick duties on this near side the right for Saka. This should be an in-swinger. Ødegaard remains. He's got Mbumo there with him as that short option. Brentford wait. Corner kick waiting to come in from Saka. Takes its time. Left footed in towards the near post. It's going to fall to Zinchenko. Couldn't keep it down right-footed. He skied it back.
He did. The amount of time they took over that corner kick, I think to myself, they're going to do something extra special here. Well, they didn't. They just put it into the near post, but they nearly got the goal out of it. 2 little chances there. Martinelli, another one just at the near post that led to that corner kick. Great movement, understanding and confidence. And I must say, for someone who's not been to the Emirates a lot, this place is bordering on unrecognisable with the noise. It is fabulous. Well done, Arsenal fans, for bringing their team together and knowing that they need the help if they're going to have to go over this line.
Certainly has been an atmosphere that has been transformed. When you think not that long ago it was quite toxic. In fact, it was very toxic. Now it's just an air of positivity. So much optimism around this part of North London for Arsenal. And no wonder They're 15 points better off than the same stage last season, as Partey in the centre circle wins the ball back for Arsenal, and then Xhaka plays the ball out towards Zinchenko. Certainly the crowd urging Arsenal on. They know they might have stumbled last week, but equally their rivals were unable to capitalise. And this, with a visit of Manchester City on Wednesday, is an opportunity then to go back 8 points clear at the top of the table. Ødegaard drills the ball low to the feet of a weighted pass to Zinchenko. Out to Martinelli on that side, the left. Back with Zinchenko once more. Martinelli, Brentford defending with every sky blue shirt back behind the ball. Scooped forward now by Partey. Zinchenko waits for it to settle left-hand side. Zinchenko goes on the outside of Roerslev. Still looking to turn and deliver the ball. Has some support. Arsenal are having to be patient here at the Emirates. We've been playing for nearly 10 minutes. Now they work it inside. Central position. White out to the right corner of the box. Saka with the cross. Headed away by Pinnock. Only as far as Partey. Plays the ball again with another good weighted ball out towards Zinchenko. The flick from Zinchenko didn't quite come off, but Arsenal have retained the ball. Martinelli to Zinchenko, just outside the area. Back to Martinelli, gets the shot away, charged down, and it's into the arms of the goalkeeper, Raya.
Do you know what? I mean, Arsenal have got the ball. They're passing it a lot. They have to be patient. You're right. But it's not passing for passing's sake. There's an urgency towards it. There's a meaningfulness towards every single movement that they make. If they don't get it down the right, that's over to the left-hand side very, very, very quickly. Chance here for Brentford.
Oh, it was a flick on by Tony, and as Mbeumo has gone on to put the ball in the back of the net, the referee had already blown his whistle, and as a result of that, there will not be any VAR check because referee Peter Banks had blown his whistle. It remains 0-0. Leicester-Tottenham, Pat Murphy.
0-0, open game, chances at either end. Maddison just wide, a well-worked free kick routine with Dewsbury Hall. Just now Perisic dragged one wide when he had a good chance. Conte is in the technical area, gesticulating just as much as his assistant Stellini. That one will probably go very well indeed. Two coaches for one. Leicester 0, Tottenham 0.
You've had a chance to look at that again, Pat.
I think Ivan Toney is unbelievably unlucky there. Incredibly unlucky. Maybe a little bit of an un near the shoulder. Oh, I'll tell you what. I think I'm trying to think if it was Gabriel Saliba who was trying to get near him. He just didn't look strong enough. But then Toney does that to people, doesn't he?
Well, Saliba then was all over Tony. Tony goes to ground and there's no free kick given to the away side. Barnsley leading Cambridge by 1-0 in League One at Oakwell. Barnsley 1, Cambridge 0. We'll go to Selhurst Park. Sahel Sahi.
Crystal Palace 0, Brighton 0. Lively start from both sides, but a good move from Brighton on the counter-attack. March fed McAllister, left side of the penalty area, weak effort. He should have done better. Crystal Palace 0, Brighton 0.
Peter Banks, the referee, has just given a free kick to Brentford midway through their own half. Lively game.
It has been a really good game. And again, it's problems with Arsenal in the past that they don't keep up the tempo. They've done it really well at the start of the game so far. They've not got the reward of the goal that they wanted, or even that many clear-cut chances. But if they can keep on going at this pace, there will be plenty more chances for Arsenal. No doubt about that. Having said that, Brentford on the break, they look dangerous. It's really well balanced.
Playing with the three at the back, using the wing-backs, Roerslev on the right, Rico Henry, who missed that chance after 5 minutes. That might well have pierced the optimism inside the Emirates had Brentford got an early goal on a ground where they've, away from home against Arsenal. They haven't played on too many occasions, but it's not a very good record. White is forward on this near side. It's only their 8th ever visit where they've made that trip, about 9 miles from West London to North, and that only win, April 1938, goals from Jerry McAloon and Di Hopkins. They've drawn 3 and lost 3 of their other visits to face Arsenal. We're going back to Leicester City. Pat Murphy.
It's a goal for Tottenham, and what a messy goal scored by Bentancur. An in-swinging corner not properly cleared, a bit of Sabutio from both sets of players, and it just basically hit Bentancur and went in from about 3 yards. Conte continues to smile and point alongside his assistant Stellini. Leicester 0, Tottenham 1.
Spurs in action in midweek. The Champions League returns and we will be in Milan. Milan against Spurs in San Siro, and then on Wednesday Arsenal Manchester City. Chelsea travel to Dortmund, that's on Sports Extra, and on Thursday it's Barcelona against Manchester United in the Europa League. So a lot of live football to look forward to next Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday. 14 minutes played this Saturday afternoon, still 0-0. That goal for Tottenham is the only goal in the Premier League at the 3 o'clock kickoffs. Curling ball out towards Martinelli, rides quite high up his chest to Xhaka, gives it back to Martinelli, coming in field. Partey 30 yards out from goal, central position, now finds White. White waits for the ball to settle, plays a diagonal ball in field just outside the D. Martinelli with his back to goal, now towards Xhaka. Xhaka hits a flat ball in, cleared away quite easily around knee height by the left foot of Pinnock. And Brentford at the minute just can't hold on to the ball, and Arsenal have it back on the halfway line.
Yeah, but they don't panic though. You know, if they can't keep the ball, they can't keep the ball. They've got that back five in place, 3 in front. There is a gap though. I suspect that Zinchenko could have a big part because the one gap's there.
Saka enters the penalty area. Saka gets the shot away under pressure. He did ever so well actually to keep his feet, and then it was a left-footed effort that was straight at the keeper.
Do you know what? He's not really looking for it there. He's not looking for a penalty kick there. I mean, sometimes when a player goes down, you think, well, has he been pushed? Is there a chance there? But he slows down a little bit. I just don't think he can get his feet right quick enough on those Brentford players. And that's why you have a back five. There's plenty of defenders in there to close in. Well done, Saka. He tried really hard to stay in his feet.
Wycombe lead Derby County by a goal to nil in League One. Derby, who are unbeaten in 15, then are behind there. Fourth in the table, remember, Derby. It's a busy day in the capital. Already West Ham United 1, Chelsea 1. We've got this game here that is 0-0 at Arsenal. We've heard Crystal Palace Brighton remains goalless, and the other game in London is at Craven Cottage. Maz Farouki.
Goalless here as well, Ian. A couple of early injury concerns for Forest as well. Steve Cooper's been forced into 2 early subs just 8 minutes in. Bolly McKenna gone off. Felipe is on for his Forest debut alongside Worrell in their place. Fulham 0, Forest 0.
Partey to White. White just outside the area. White then waits. He must be, I don't know, 25 yards out from goal. He passes the ball along the ground towards Saka. Back towards White once again. He threads it through to Ødegaard. Right corner of the area for Arsenal, who are attacking. Playing from left to right as we look. Ødegaard. Brentford defending very, very deep. Ball played forward towards Partey. Side on, just outside the D. Back it goes towards Gabriel. Edge of the area now towards Zinchenko. Left-hand side. Xhaka works over the cross. Blocked. Appeals for handball from the supporters more than the players. Zinchenko now darts forward. Fires it. And saved by the goalkeeper at his near post. Goal at turf 4, Juliet Barrington.
Burnley, it was Josh Brownhill with the cross. Nathan Teller with the header. Burnley on top. They lead this derby against Preston 1-0.
Thanks, Jules. Shrewsbury, by the way, who've won their last 5 in League One, are behind to Port Vale. Shrewsbury 0, Port Vale 1, and Bolton Wanderers are leading at London Road. Peterborough 0, Bolton 1. Lincoln City have just taken the lead also in League One. Lincoln 1, Bristol Rovers 0. And you're up to date with the goals as they go in on BBC Radio 5 live in the World Service. 17 minutes played. Pat Nevin.
It's driving the 2 strikers for Brentford mad. You know, anytime they nudge an Arsenal defender, the referee whistles. But the defenders are all over them. They're holding them, they're grabbing them around the waist, they're getting absolutely nothing. But they won't complain too much. They'll just keep on fighting and battling. Just mentioning Zinchenko there. He looks as dangerous there on the left. Zaha looks on the right. Saka looks on the right, doesn't he? He is in phenomenal form just now. Just shows you what a little bit of competition does in that position, because he's got Tierney waiting there to try and come in as well.
Yeah, and Tierney, who is an excellent defender, as we know from his time at Celtic. He's had a few injury issues since he's moved south here to London, as the ball from White was looking to get Saka in on this near side, but it was the Rico Henry who was alert to cut out that threat. That ball has just struck Norgard in the face. It comes to Partey. And now it's with Zinchenko. Zinchenko on the edge of the area. Martinelli looking for a sight of goal. There is just no way through for Arsenal at the moment, but somebody's found a way through at Craven Cottage. Maz Farouki.
And it's Willian for Fulham, and it was a free kick initially. Pereira, tight angle on the left. Forest failed to clear their area. Willian with the shot about 9 yards out from a tight angle on the right. Fulham 1, Forest 0.
Arsenal are knocking at the door. Here is Ødegaard, right corner of the area. Swings over the cross. Zinchenko will do well to keep that in play. He succeeded, but it was a header straight into the arms of Raya.
He's always the outball, isn't he? He's always the outball, Zinchenko. I mean, he looks brilliant when he's on it, but he's flicks and tricks, little dummies all over the place. He is playing like a winger just now. But because that back line goes very tight with a defender for Brentford, he knows that's where the gap is, and he keeps on going. He finds himself in really good space.
Middlesbrough in excellent run of form. They've won 9 of their last 11. They're third in the Championship, and they're leading at Cardiff, who incidentally have lost both games since Sabri Lamouchi took charge. Cardiff 0, Middlesbrough 1 is the latest score in the Championship, and Wraith Rovers in the Scottish Cup are leading Motherwell. What's that, Wraith Rovers? Starks Park?
I should actually know that.
Wraith 1, Motherwell 0 is the latest score.
I've actually played for Motherwell against Wraith.
Mbumo into the penalty area, quickly closed down. It's Kirkcaldy, isn't it?
They're in Kirkcaldy, there's no place. Wraith is a part of it.
Testing my ground hopping days from north of the border a long time ago, but Wraith are leading anyway against Motherwell. And Brentford here have got a corner kick on this near side the left. It's still 0-0. You're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live. Fulham lead Forest 1-0, Leicester 0, Tottenham 1. No goals at Selhurst Park or indeed at St Mary's, Southampton against Wolves. So Brentford wait.
Interesting setup. All the Brentford players all in a bunch, about 7 of them.
Well, they've gone towards the far post. It's Mbumo who's going to take it, and it drops towards Pinnock, and it goes behind for another corner kick to Brentford. Brentford have scored the most goals from set pieces in the Premier League this season. Arsenal's last 2 goals that they've conceded in the Premier League have both been from corners. We saw how Everton caused them so many problems last weekend. And once again, there must be at least 6 sky blue shirts that have gathered at that far post for this Brentford corner kick on the left-hand side. Mbumo to take it, left-footed, lifted in, headed out by Saliba. Let's get details of that goal for Middlesbrough from Laura Kenyon.
Cardiff 0, Middlesbrough 1. Marcus Forss deep in the box, unleashed an absolute rocket with his right foot, popped up really nicely for him on the volley. Roof of the net, his 7th of the season. Cardiff 0, Middlesbrough 1.
Former Brentford player, of course. Crawley are leading Crewe by 1-0 in League 2. Crawley 1, Crewe 0, and it's still 0-0 here. Ramsdale's going to take the goal kick. He takes it short to Zinchenko. Zinchenko now passes the ball to Ødegaard. It runs out of play. It's a misplaced pass. Let's go to Southampton. Chris Coles.
Southampton 0, Wolves 0, but a bright Southampton start. Oh, what Nathan Jones would give for an early goal. Couple of chances to get it. The latest, a Suleimana volley, couple of inches wide. Southampton 0, Wolves 0.
Harrogate 0, Stockport 1 is the latest score in League 2. The ball is hit forward now by Raya, and it will go all the way through to his opposite number. A featured game in League 1 is the top of the table clash at Portman Road. Paul Scott.
Ipswich have a penalty here, 19 minutes on the clock. Chaplin steps up, it is saved. Sheffield Wednesday still in this one. It was a penalty after the referee consulted with his assistant on this near side. Chaplin, he's in double figures for this season, but it was saved by Cameron Dawson diving to his left hand side. Still Ipswich 0, Sheffield Wednesday 0.
Wednesday unbeaten in 16 in League 1. Now my computer is telling me at Bramall Lane that Sheffield United have taken the lead at home to Swansea, and it's Hartlepool 0, Sutton 1, a latest score in League 2. Arsenal are attacking, and it's with Saliba, central position. Now with Ødegaard. Ødegaard gets away on the right hand side. Ødegaard's cross takes a deflection, cleared away by Norgard. Another goal at Leicester. Pat Murphy. Can't get to Pat just as yet.
Right foot, 18 yards after a corner was cleared off the line by Højbjerg. Absolute brilliant equaliser. Leicester 1, Tottenham 1.
Thanks, Pat. Leicester 1, Spurs 1 there. We'll get news of that goal at Bramall Lane now from Katie Smith.
Yeah, Sheffield United 1, Swansea City 0. The ball kept in on the right hand side. Sanderberg on the edge of the D and fired home low right. And we just had a shot there from Billy Sharp, kept out by Andy Fisher. Sheffield United 1, Swansea 0.
Leyton Orient, the League 2 leaders, are behind. They've won their last 2, but they're losing at the Bescott Stadium. Walsall 1, Leyton Orient 0. Arsenal here 0-0 against Brentford. Have got a corner kick right hand side. 5 Live, and what has felt like a rather frenetic midway point of the first half that we've just reached here on this Saturday afternoon. Arsenal wait. Ødegaard to take the corner kick. Hits it rather flat out towards Martinelli, whose header didn't really go anywhere. Brentford have got it away. Tony now sweeps it downfield. Pat Nevin.
Yeah, I mean, they defended really well there. The corner kicks are going in. The delivery's not bad, but that's going to be a hard way to get past Brentford. Brentford did a good little spell there for 4 or 5 minutes, but Arsenal trying to strangle them again with possession, and they're doing so.
As it goes to Martinelli, level with the penalty area left-hand side. Xhaka The Arsenal supporters trying to play their part as well. Partey from long range, shooting boots not on, long distance effort, right-footed. I think that reached the middle tier, did it not?
It might have done. He's looking at the bobble on the pitch. You don't get bobbles anymore, mate. You're wasting your time. Just looking at the way the game's playing just now, it's the way exactly we expected it to go. You know, there's a lot riding in this game for both teams. We knew that Arsenal will have most of the possession, but now and again, particularly from set pieces and from long balls to the two front men, they would cause a problem now and again, Brentford, and they've done that, and it's exactly the way it's run. But the concentration is so important for those Brentford defenders. Don't give it up for a minute.
Goal kick for Brentford that Raya will take away towards our right-hand side. Another goal at Leicester City, Pat Murphy.
Another goal for Leicester City. They now lead 2-1. James Maddison, the scorer, a quick break, and how correct he was to point at Iheanacho, who unselfishly drew the defence past him on the plate. Fine breakaway goal. Leicester 2, Tottenham 1.
Brentford have just come close here. They've just hit the post through Toney. And Bomo left-hand side cuts it back. And Ivan Toney, right-footed, hits the frame of the goal.
He should score. I mean, absolutely, it's a huge miss. You've got to get on target there. You're only about 8 yards out. The ball's been cut back. There is no one in front of you there. Keep on target. He didn't do that. That is a huge miss. 2 huge misses in this game so far for Brentford.
They've had the best chances. It's still 0-0. There's been a goal at St Mary's. Chris Coles.
What a big goal this could be for Nathan Jones and Southampton. They lead Wolves by a goal to 0, and it's a goal for Carlos Alcaraz on his full league debut. Ball breaking to him, edge of the area, right foot snapshot, in off the post. Southampton 1, Wolves 0.
Brentford have a throw on the right-hand side. They're taking their time. A goal at Vicarage Road now in the Championship. John Bennett.
Watford 0, Blackburn Rovers 1, and it's Bradley Dack from close range. Costello with the shot save. Brilliant composure by Dack in the 6-yard box to turn and find the net. Watford 0, Blackburn 1.
Plymouth second in League One have taken the lead at home to Portsmouth. 1-0 at home park. Still goalless here at the Emirates. The ball is played out to Mee. Mee hits it forward, and that gives it straight away to Parsing. Bristol City now lead Norwich by a goal to 0 at Ashton Gate in the Championship. Nigel Pearson's side unbeaten in 5 before today. Ødegaard to Saka. Saka right-hand side. Saka goes long. Martinelli at the far post arriving. Back it comes to Martinelli. A little bit off balance. Slices his effort at goal. Brentford partially get the ball away. Arsenal play it back towards Saka right-hand side. Saka tries to come in between Jensen and Henry. Jensen is there for Brentford, and he has some support from Ben Mee, and he plays the ball towards Ødegaard, and Brentford cleverly get the ball out of the danger area and up towards Ivan Toney.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard for Saka. Oh, another good break. They're so good at the break. Certainly Toney is in a brilliant understanding there with Mbeumo. They always seem to be holding it up. They always seem to be going behind, but they've got space to run into because they're playing so deep.
Ødegaard, this is Henry trying to get away from the challenge of Partey. And Mbeumo trying to win it back. Saka clears the ball high up in the air away for Arsenal. Pinnock surely holding Nketiah. Referee Peter Banks says no foul. Jensen then has overrun it, and he runs into trouble to Xhaka. Challenges are flying in. Ødegaard with a foul. Free kick to Arsenal. Another goal at Cardiff. Laura Kenyon.
Cardiff 1, Middlesbrough 1. Brilliant response from the home side after going 1 down. Sorry Carver, the deadline day signing with a tap-in set up by Callum Robinson. Borough the informed side. Cardiff in a relegation scrap, but a great contest, 1-1.
Stevenage are going top of League Two because the leaders Leyton Orient are behind, and Stevenage are now leading Bradford City at Broadhall Way by a goal to 0. MK Dons 1, Oxford United 0 is the latest score in League One, and now I'm hearing of a sending off at St Mary's. Chris Cole.
Southampton lead 1-0, and their day is getting better because Wolves are down to 10 men, and the Southampton fans waving cheerio to their former player Mario Lemina, sent off for 2 yellow cards. The first was very harsh, no doubt about the second. Wolves 1 down, and now a man down. Southampton 1, Wolves 0.
Ramsdale with a clearance downfield. Martinelli in a central area, tracking in there was Ruas left, the right wing back, and he hooks it away just outside the D. Ball played forward by Ayer. Comes quite quickly towards Ødegaard, but he gets it away towards Ayer. They're not exactly parking the bus here, Brentford. They're coming forward. And Mbeumo, diagonal ball towards Toney, who rather theatrically has thrown himself forward, but he was in an offside position. anyway, and it will be a free kick. And there's a wicket now in the cricket, the Women's World Cup. Adam Mountford.
Yes, England up with the rate, but lost 3 wickets now. Chanel Henry pulled off a brilliant caught and bowl to dismiss Dunkley for 34. Capsey was stumped for 13. Wyatt caught to the deep for 11. 136 the target. England 74 for 3 in the 8th.
Commentary of that is on Sports Extra. Ireland, France and the Six Nations is on BBC Sounds. Here is Partey, just on the edge of the area. Ødegaard now takes over. He can't thread a ball through. They're committing men forward when they attack, but on the defensive work, there are so many sky blue shirts back in numbers for Brentford.
Yeah, but they're doing something really quite complicated. When they attack, they stay. They stay as long as they possibly can. But when they get the defensive set up, it's okay, we're comfortable then there. It's a really unusual, adaptable way that they're playing, Brentford.
Norgard with the cross. Henry was forward, and it required the header behind from White to track the run of the Brentford left wing back to head it behind for a corner kick.
Do you know, I'd really love to hear what Frank says to them quite a lot of the time, because you've got 5, you've got 3 and 2 up front, and you think, okay, you commit 1 or 2 now and again. When Brentford commit, they commit with bells on. And then they don't just come back, they don't just filter back. They think, okay, we're going to play quite high for a few minutes. They've done that a few times, and it's led to chances. It's another corner kick now, and surprise, surprise, they're doing the same thing again. That is so hard to defend against when they do that. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players and a ball of about 5 yards.
So 7 players in sky blue shirts wait and gather, and now they break and disperse a little bit as the corner kick comes in on this left-hand side from Mbeumo, and the header from me. They're appealing for handball in there. It was a very crowded penalty area. Jensen then passes the ball to Mbeumo, and he sliced that cross, and it's gathered in by Ramsdale. Goal at Portman Road. Paul Scott.
Against the run of play, it's Ipswich 0, Sheffield Wednesday 1. Out of nothing, the league leaders have taken the lead. Josh Windass with a wonderful cross. Michael Smith's header past the despairing dive of Christian Walton. Ipswich 0, Sheffield Wednesday 1.
Shrewsbury have equalised at home to Port Vale in League One, and it feels for the first time this afternoon we can breathe.
Yeah, just for a moment there. That was another, I think, huge chance. Now, I'm just wondering if there will any check for the VAR. Me seems to think his header, which he caught brilliantly, would take a hit off someone's hand. I have a wee suspicion it was one of his own players, that he caught it well. It was a good corner kick. I'm not giving a penalty kick there. Nothing you can do about that.
Well, actually, talking of Ben Mee, there's a break in play. It's the perfect opportune time to say that I actually have a message to you. And that indeed is Ben Mee's official song, because his teammates serenade him with that specials tune. I know that you like your music, Pat, but that was the fact of the day with Tony Livesey Drive every Friday afternoon. It's sometimes easy to forget these things.
You've remembered, don't worry.
Yeah, maybe John Murray has a slight issue with his memory, but that's by the by. Anyway, 5 Live. And a goal at Selhurst Park. Sahel Sahi.
Crystal Palace 0, Brighton 1. Another lovely move from the visitors, and it ended up in the penalty area, and Pervis Ostupinian, with his first league goal for Brighton, has nudged them into the lead. Crystal Palace 0, Brighton 1.
Fleetwood, who've lost their last 4 in League One, are leading at the Valley. Charlton 0, Fleetwood 1. We'll get an update now in the Six Nations. Are Ireland still ahead? Sarah Orchard.
They are 50 minutes on the clock. Ireland 22, France 16. No change to the score in this second half, but the big news is that Johnny Sexton is off. He's picked up a leg injury. Ross Byrne is on to play out the rest of this. What some saying is the Grand Slam decider. It's only round 2. Ireland 22, France 16.
Scotland-Wales at 4:45. We'll be on Sports Extra. We'll keep you regularly up to date into Sports Report before we bring you Bournemouth against Newcastle United. Our next commentary at 5:30. Then it'll be 6:06, and tomorrow on 5 Live Premier League Sunday, Leeds Manchester United at 2, Manchester City Aston Villa at 4:30, and the Super Bowl tomorrow night will be live at 11 o'clock, Kansas City against Philadelphia. So in the Premier League, earlier West Ham 1, Chelsea 1, the latest scores: Crystal Palace 0, Brighton and Hove Albion 1, Fulham 1, Nottingham Forest 0, Leicester 2, Tottenham 1, coming from behind, Southampton 1, Wolves 0. This is the only goalless game in the top flight.
Yeah,
and we've got, 12 minutes to half time.
Yeah, but it's not a bad game. In the first, I would say 15-20 minutes, mostly dominated by Arsenal, a few breaks away. But if you think of it over the piece, the chances, the cleaner chances, by a distance, the cleaner chances they've gone to Brentford. Tony's with a very, very good chance. Hit the crossbar when he should have scored. The Henry opportunity was, he's 8 or 9 yards out, no one in front of him. and he skews it wide with his left foot. There's also the May header there, which was just bad fortune. So at the moment, game plan kind of going for both sides the way they expected, but the chances are falling for Brentford.
Yeah, they have. That Rico Henry one as well early on, as Mbumo heads it forward to Henry. Party will tidy up for Arsenal, quickly closed down by Mbumo. Ball cleared it away, only as far as me on the halfway line. His ball goes infield and straight to Zinchenko. So Hale, I'm hearing that Brighton goal hasn't stood.
No, it's been ruled out, Ian. Offside. Estupiñán himself was offside. He was the last man, just very, very marginal. So it's Crystal Palace 0, Brighton 0. That's the loudest we've heard Crystal Palace fans all afternoon.
Without a win in 6, Sutton have just got a second goal at Hartlepool, 2-0 at Victoria Park. Party's overrun the ball on the edge of the area. Henry with a clearance, strikes Mbumo, falls though towards Tony. Jensen couldn't quite gather it in, and Arsenal have it now with Saliba on the halfway line. Very frantic.
Yeah, a wee bit of frustration with Arsenal, I think. You know, beforehand they were passing it really well, neatly. You know, they're trying to actually go through little gaps that aren't there at the moment. And I'm sure Mikel Arteta will say to them at half-time, if they don't score before then, look, it's okay, keep on doing the right things. The gaps will appear eventually. Don't try and go for them when they're not there.
QPR 0, Millwall 1 in the London Derby in the Championship. Here in the London Derby in the Premier League, Saliba passes the ball towards White. White right corner of the area with the cross, headed away by Pinnock. Comes to Zinchenko just outside the area, tried to pass it through towards Saka in the inside left channel of the box, but it was repelled by Brentford. And then Tony, in a bit of a tussle there with Saliba, goes to the ground and gets a free kick.
He has hard work to play against, and you know what? That's very concerning. The way Tony went down there, just the way he went down, I just wonder, was that a hamstring pull? It was very, very strange. The way his movement, his body was unusual when he went down. And the first thing he does is his arm goes straight towards the back of his thigh. The hope is he's just been kicked, and he certainly was a knee into the back of his leg there. So with any luck, it's just a knee into the back of his leg.
Well, he is feeling that blow. His shorts have just ridden up a little bit on his left leg, but he's back on his feet, albeit in a rather gingerly manner.
But it can't be hamstring, because he wouldn't get up like that if it was. So that's good news for Brentford fans. He's giving it back to defenders there. Gabriel Saliba, a bit of a hard time, hasn't he? He muscles them all over the place. Sometimes doesn't get the fouls that he deserves. Doesn't seem to have any effect. Keeps going.
Raya with the free kick. That's the voice of Pat Nevin on BBC Radio 5 Live. Brentford are attacking. Norgard couldn't get hold of the ball. Cleared away inside the penalty area by Xhaka for Arsenal. Martinelli's turned into trouble and given the ball away. Now it's with me. Chips it out towards Aya, who waits. The ball then is played back. Not the best of clearances. Drops towards me, actually, of all people. Drills it back in towards the penalty area. It's teed up towards Jensen. Just outside the D, right-footed. Couldn't keep it down. 0-0.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one, because he was closed down very, very well. Good defending again by Arsenal. He comes out 18 yards line. If they don't get out to him quick, he can pick his spot. But the good thing is there's two players getting close to him there, and well done, in particular Odegaard.
Colchester's winning run, it could continue. Grimsby 0, Colchester 1 in League 2. Shrewsbury have come from behind, now leading Port Vale by 2-1 in League 1. Ball goes out of play, it's a throw to Brentford. We're going back to Portman Road. Another goal, Paul Scott.
10 minutes to go until half-time. It's Ipswich 0, Sheffield Wednesday 2. The league leaders enjoying themselves. Barry Bannon's ball into the box wasn't dealt with, and it fell to George Byers to lash in. Ipswich 0, Sheffield Wednesday 2.
We're going racing now. It's the Betfair Hurdle. It's at Newbury, and here's John Hunt.
One of the big handicaps of the season. They're at the second last here, Ian, and Auchenrisk has led all the way to this point, but in behind him in second place is the favourite. That is Filey Bay, trained in Ireland by Emmett Mullins, who looks dangerous now in second place. In third is Teddy Boy, but he's about 7 or 8 lengths further behind those as they come now down towards the last. Auchenrisk and Filey Bay, these two are going to fight it out. Onto the running they come. Filey Bay's drifted down the stand side, might be just in front. Auchenrisk is giving it everything on there on the far side. They remain clear of Teddy Blue. Very few got into this competitive handicap. Auchenrisk fighting back all the way to the line with Filey Bay. Auchenrisk driven right out. Auchenrisk has beaten the favourite Filey Bay, and they were clear of Teddy Blue, and back in fourth place was York Sea. Big win for trainer Chris Gordon. Nick Schofield doing the steering. Auchenrisk has won the Betfair Hurdle.
Thank you, John. Mansfield 2, Gillingham 0, Harrogate 0, Stockport 2, as Brentford are attacking with Tony. Tony shoots, flicks it early. Ramsdale makes the save, and the ball is headed back to him from Zinchenko. Almost caught Ramsdale out.
He did. I mean, the pair who got in the shot was incredible. I thought he was going to play a little slip ball through. Would have been the wrong thing to do. His teammate was offside there. Catches that really well. They've had a good little period these last 10 or 15 minutes, Brentford.
Brentford in sky blue. Might well be doing a favour for the Sky Blues of Manchester City here, because they are proving to be obdurate opponents in more ways than one. Hard to break down, but causing Arsenal problems at the other end. It was almost as if Tony took it so early that almost catching Ramsdale out.
Yeah, I mean, everyone expects the slip ball through. Bueno had actually run in a great area there, but he had just gone offside. And I think Tony knew that. That's why he hit it from there, 20 odd yards out, probably over 22. Keeper had to be very, very lively indeed. He did take it early.
Zinchenko, left-hand side, just in from the touchline, still 0-0. 5.5 minutes to go to half-time on 5 Live, BBC Sounds and the World Service. Here is Saka, right corner of the area, on the overlap. White stands up the cross towards the far post. Martinelli, Xhaka arriving, and it's headed behind for a corner kick. It was Jensen doing the reverse stuff on the defensive.
Yeah, good defending at the back post there. I mean, you shouldn't really lose it. I know Xhaka's coming in behind you, but it wasn't high enough for Xhaka to come across the top of him there. Again, good defending. Corner kick, Arsenal. Corner kick taken short, taken quickly on that left-hand side to Zinchenko. Level with the area, turns away. 5 minutes to go to the break. Zinchenko rolls it to Ødegaard, lays it quickly out towards Martinelli, passes the ball inside. Now it's with Saka. Saka, 25 yards out from goal. Xhaka. His cross strikes the body of Tony, and it ricochets out of play for a throw. The multi-ball system is in operation. It was quickly tossed to him from an eager ball boy down below. Now it's with Saliba to White, but once more Brentford have every sky blue shirt back behind the ball. Still goalless here at the Emirates. The leaders can't find a way through. Fortunate indeed that they're not behind. Had Brentford taken their chances. Passing to Martinelli. And Nketiah turns. And Nketiah waits, but still playing very much in front of Brentford here. Ball is chipped over the top. White headed into the penalty area. Jensen flicks it away before it can reach Ødegaard. Picked up by Saliba. Goes to ground. Free kick. Goal at Cardiff. Laura Kenyon.
Cardiff 1, Borough 2. Advantage swings back to the promotion chasers. Cameron Archer, brilliant ball through to him by Hayden Hackney, one-on-one with Ryan Alsop, and he buried it. Archer's first of the season. Cardiff 1, Middlesbrough 2.
Sutton United might be leading 2-0 at Hartlepool, but they're down to 10 men. Craig Eastman has been sent off, and Max Walters has been dismissed for Barnsley in League One. Barnsley, who are still leading Cambridge United by 1-0. Wraith Rovers have got a second goal now at home to Motherwell in the Scottish Cup in the 5th round. Later, Celtic against St Mirren. We'll have Roddy Forsyth keeping us up to date of that game. This is a free kick then for Arsenal. It's 0-0. We're approaching half-time. 3 minutes to go to the break.
Anyway, you were right. Let's start Spark.
In it comes now from Ødegaard. It's a header away by Tony. And Ødegaard will collect it, and he goes in towards the centre circle. But Brentford really defending very, very well here. Martinelli in a central area. Martinelli, width provided over on that far side by Xhaka. This is Gabriel to Zinchenko. Zinchenko looks up, just can't find a way through. Now it's chipped long out towards this near side. Saka plays the ball towards Ødegaard. Saka makes the run into the box, creates space for White. Right side of the penalty area, delivers it deep. Header out towards Martinelli on the volley. Left-footed, just on the edge of the area, couldn't keep it down. Goal kick, we're going to Craven Cottage. Masfaruqi.
Fulham still lead 1-0, but they should be further ahead. A couple of great chances. D. Cordova-Reid hitting the crossbar 20 yards or so out, and then Pereira just wide of the right-hand post. Fulham 1, Forest 0.
Would you say that was Arsenal's best chance?
Yeah, possibly so. If you're playing against that tight defence, what you need to do is stretch them as much as you can. Arsenal have started to do that a little bit in the last 3 or 4 minutes. That time go down the right hand side, eventually comes back to the volley, but there was 2 or 3 other players in that back post who could have had a shot had it dropped to them. Got to stretch tight defences.
Who will ever forget that famous Brentford 2-0 victory at home to herald their first season in the Premier League on that opening night last season. But when they came here last season, it was 2-1 to Arsenal, but all the goals came in the second half, and it might have to be where Arsenal are once more. Patience very much the watchword here at the Emirates as we edge our way towards half-time. Let's get an update from Ireland in the Six Nations. Sarah Orchard.
20 minutes left to play. Ireland 25, France 16. It's a penalty that Ireland have slotted. Arguably they should have gone over for a try after a brilliant 50-22 by Hugo Keenan. They'll take the points though. They're leading at the moment in Dublin. Ireland 25, France 16.
Commentary continues on BBC Sounds. By his standards, Arteta is quite calm. He's not as animated as he usually is in the technical area.
I think his team has played well, Ian. I think Arsenal have played well. I mean, yes, the chances have fallen to Brighton. Arsenal aren't bottling it. They're not playing badly.
Here is Saka, inside to Ødegaard. Ødegaard tries to run free, finds Nketiah with his back to goal, can't turn, scoops it forward, claimed by Raya. Brentford are defending well.
They are, but you know, and Arsenal have been here before, and many teams there are passing teams out like keeping possession. They understand it might take a while. It might take 60, 70, 80 minutes. You have to keep on going. One of the big things about Arsenal this season, they have finished very strongly in a lot of games. So I don't think there's any panic out there yet.
Well, they're nearing 6 hours in the Premier League since they last conceded that goal of Oxlade-Chamberlain for Liverpool when Brentford won by 3-1. It was 5 hours and 10 minutes before today. So as we are now about to find out how much stoppage time, we're going to be 5 minutes shy of 6 hours for Brentford since they last conceded 3 successive clean sheets, and there are going to be 2 minutes of added on time, which we're now into. Ryan Loft has been sent off for Bristol Rovers in League One. Bristol Rovers, who are behind at Sincil Bank against Lincoln City, and Bolton Wanderers in that division have got a second goal. Peterborough 0, Bolton 2. There's been another goal scored at Bramall Lane. Katie Smith.
Sheffield United 2, Swansea 0. Free kick 20 yards out, right on the edge of the area, fired in by Norwood off the crossbar and then tapped home by Jack Robinson. Sheffield United 2, Swansea 0.
Raya with the free kick for Brentford. In stoppage time, still 0-0 here at the Emirates. Crystal Palace 0, Brighton 0, Fulham 1, Nottingham Forest 0, Leicester City 2, Tottenham 1, Southampton 1, Wolves 0. Wolves are down to 10 men. Another goal at Portman Road. Paul Scott.
Game on here. It is Ipswich 1, Sheffield Wednesday 2. Nathan Broadhead winning a free kick on the edge of the area, dusting himself down and taking it himself. It was inch perfect in off the underside of the crossbar. 2 minutes to go until half time. Ipswich 1, Sheffield Wednesday 2.
Ruesler couldn't control that ball that had been thrown in from the right hand side. An opportunity now maybe for Arsenal to break. Brentford have committed so many men forward, and it's Nketiah running and drifting out towards the left hand side. But the willingness of the runners to get back from Brentford, so eye-catching.
It was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. You have to play that quickly. If you are breaking like that and you've got a man in front of you, you haven't got time to think about it. You've got to try and play a little 1-2 to get through that defence. As soon as he turned back on himself, the 7 light blue shots back.
Partey, 30 yards out from goal, central position, passes the ball towards White, edge of the area. White chips in the cross, downward header from Nketiah, lacked the power, cleared away, flicked away by me. Hartlepool have got a goal back against the 10 men of Sutton. It's Hartlepool 1, Sutton United 2. Arsenal will come again in stoppage time here. Still 0-0, the only goalless game so far in the top flight. Zinchenko fires over the cross from the left. That was blocked. It'll run out of play for a throw. They take it quickly. Zinchenko infield to Martinelli. Martinelli with the cross, headed away by Pinnock. Cushion header by White. Ødegaard now right corner of the area. Can he deliver? Tony is back on defensive duties. Ødegaard towards Saka. Saka goes for a curling effort. Headed away by me. Certainly resolute defending from Brentford. And the half-time whistle sounds. 0-0, Pat Nevin.
Actually a really good game of football. We've not got any goals, but it doesn't really matter. We knew the system was going to be great fighting, great battling, really breaking very, very well Brentford. Arsenal got to be patient. Easier said than done sometimes, Ian.
Well, certainly Rico Henry had a great chance, but he put it wide when it was easier to hit the target, and then Tony's hit the post, and Tony's gone from distance as well. The better chances have certainly fallen to Brentford, despite Arsenal's greater possession. Arsenal 0, Brentford 0 at half-time.
Go round all the half-times, surely, but there's just 6 points in it in the Six Nations in Dublin. Sarah Orchard.
Ireland 25, France 19. France bit back through a drop goal through Thomas Ramos. Ireland pounding away at the line at the moment. Wayne Barnes going to push them back. It's another Irish penalty. Dennis Hickey, this is breathtaking.
Yeah, no, I think actually it's going to be a France dropout, goal line dropout. Been an incredibly exhausting game in the second half. Really, really nip and tuck. France not going to play in their own half. And Ireland are on the attack, but France have been really impressive.
Still 15 minutes to go. Ireland 25, France 19.
Solihull Moors have just equalised on the stroke of half-time in the National League at Dagenham and Redbridge, and also on the stroke of half-time at Leicester. Pat Murphy.
Leicester 3-1, superb goal from Iheanacho, left foot, but Tottenham stood off him, gave him plenty of time to line it up with his favourite left foot. Splendid finish, but that ball should have been in rose head. Leicester 3, Tottenham 1.
Late goal at Coventry as well, Shojo.
Yeah, we're in added time at the end of the first half. Coventry 1, Luton 1. Victor Gyökeres pulled down in the box, and Matt Godden from the spot. Coventry 1, Luton 1.
Thank you very much. Half-time whistle has gone at Southampton. The Wolves players, maybe not surprisingly, surrounding the referee, Chris Coles.
Yeah, because they're very unhappy, Mark, with the red card given to Mario Lemina. 2 yellow cards, 1 for a late challenge, the second for dissent, and it's given Southampton a real chance to record a much needed victory. To be honest, they're playing well, Southampton. They're looking up for it, they're pressing well, energetic, and they've got a deserved lead given to them by one of the new boys, Carlos Alcaraz, edge of the area, shooting early, in off the post. Exactly what Nathan Jones needed the first time Southampton have scored first under him in the league. Southampton have a real chance to relieve the pressure on their manager and clamber off the bottom of the table. They lead 10-man Wolves by a goal to nil.
Half-time at Fulham. What a goal separates the two sides here, Maz.
Yeah, Forest without a shot on target so far, seeing their best chance come on the counter-attack. But yeah, that chance for them came when they were already behind. William putting Fulham ahead 17 minutes in a lovely strike about 8 yards or so out from the right. Forest all over the place in defence, but Brennan Johnson with a run at pace on the right, trying to find Chris Wood in the area, was their best chance. The New Zealand man really hasn't been in this game an awful lot for Forest. Mitrovic and Pereira with great chances for Fulham second as well. De Cordova-Reid has hit the crossbar as well, and Forest had to make 2 early subs because of injury as well, and Steve Cooper's side had to try and do something. They've only managed 3 times all season in the league, and that's score an away goal. Fulham lead 1-0 at the break.
Thank you. Let's go to Crystal Palace, where we thought there had been a goal, but this is goalless at half-time. Sahel.
Yes, it is, Mark. Crystal Palace 0, Brighton 0. Top class, though, from Brighton. They did everything but score, and they did that too through Estupiñán, but his goal was ruled out after a VAR check for offside. McAllister, he was denied 3 times, twice by the Crystal Palace goalkeeper and once by a goal-saving block from Gahey. Mitoma was also denied a 6th Premier League goal of the season. Crystal Palace, while they're playing off scraps and hoping for a bit of magic from Elise. Half-time, Crystal Palace 0, Brighton 0.
No doubt where the game of the day is so far. Pat Murphy.
Leicester lead Tottenham 3-1, an exhilarating half. They turned it round, Leicester. Tottenham early goal, fluky one from Bentancur from the in-swinging corner. They looked in control. 2 minutes later, Mendy, a superb, fulminating right foot shot like an arrow, 1-1. And then Iheanacho got involved. Great work, unselfish positioning, fine pass to Maddison, 2-1. Just then, on half-time, Iheanacho, all on his own, dallied, committed the tackles, the defenders, left foot shot, made it 3-1. Shocking defending for those last 2 goals by Tottenham. I doubt that this is aiding Antonio Conte's recuperation as he stands there in the technical area. Leicester 3, Tottenham 1.
Daniel Dodds has just got a second for Hartlepool, so they've come from 2-0 down to level with Sutton at 2-2, and remember, Sutton are down to 10 in that game as well. Let's go into the Championship. We'll start with the leaders. Juliet Farrington at Turf Moor.
Where Burnley lead Preston by a goal to 0, and they are tearing Preston apart. Very little in response from the visitors here. Burnley leading through Nathan Teller's header. Mark, he is so good. Unmarked at the near post. It was Brownhill with the assist. Barnes went close on the half hour. Woodman, though, a really good save to stop him. But Burnley are in complete control. They just need another. At half time, they lead Preston by 1 goal to 0.
Let's go to the team in second. Sheffield United, Katie Smith.
Yeah, Sheffield United 2, Swansea 0, slightly against the run of play, really. Swansea on top in the early stages. Then Sanderberger put the automatic promotion hopefuls ahead with a low shot into the bottom right-hand corner. Minutes from half-time, Robertson followed up a Norwood free kick, which came back off the crossbar to make it 2-0. United making it very clear here. Anything you can do, Borough and Burnley, below and above them, we can do it too.
Next to Shojo Saka at Coventry Luton.
Coventry 1, Luton 1, lively half, bookended by the goals. Tom Lockyer for Luton in the first minute. Luton playing like a team in fourth, just oozing confidence. Coventry equalising in added time through a Matt Godden penalty. Probably about right on the balance of play. Coventry 1, Luton 1.
Watford continue to stutter. That's not easy to say. John Bennett.
Yeah, they are struggling. Watford 0, Blackburn 1. Blackburn up to 5th as it stands. Both sides cancelled each other out until the only goal midway through the first half. A good surge forward by Joe Rankin Costello. His shot was saved. Bradley Dack scored from close range. Really good composure to dig the ball out of his feet under pressure. Watford have really tested the Blackburn keeper, but João Pedro's looked dangerous. He put a shot just wide. They're in danger mark of going 4 games without a win. Watford 0, Blackburn 1.
Did we hear from you at all, Chris Latcham, in that first half?
No, and nor did Telly. Doing both. Sitting here getting paid twice and not doing any work. Fantastic. Nervy, though, at the gnarly end of the championship, Mark. Huddersfield have no manager, but they had the best of the first 45. Joe Hungbo had 2 chances saved. He provided a tap-in for someone, anyone. Sadly for Huddersfield, no one. He is great to watch, though, down the right, probing away. Wigan haven't created a clear-cut chance under new boss Sean Maloney. Their best and only chance was a looping, falling overhead kick from their giant defender Jack Watmore. It went wide, 0-0.
Sandwiched in between Wigan and Huddersfield are Blackpool. They're goalless at half-time against Rotherham. Bristol City, who are unbeaten in their last 5 in the Championship, lead at the break at home to Norwich. Mark Sykes has put them ahead there. It's Cardiff 1, Middlesbrough 2, QPR 0, Millwall 1. Duncan Watmore with the goal for Gary Rowett's side. Stoke 0, Hull 0 and Sunderland 0, Reading 0 are the other scores in the Championship. Into League One, been a great first 45 minutes at Portman Road. Paul Scott.
It's Ipswich 1, Sheffield Wednesday 2 at half-time. It promised a lot and it's delivering. Fantastic entertainment here. Sheffield Wednesday were 2-0 up and cruising after goals from Michael Smith and George Byers put them in control. But a wonderful free kick from Nathan Broadhead halved the deficit just before the break. All of this after Ipswich striker Connor Chaplin saw a penalty saved by Cameron Dawson. A big second half ahead. It's Ipswich 1, league leaders Sheffield Wednesday 2.
Elsewhere in League One, Barnsley are great at home. They've won 5 of their last 6 and they lead at the break against Cambridge by a goal to nil. Max Waters got the goal, then Max Waters got sent off, so they're going to have to play the second half with 10 men. Goalless between Burton and Exeter. Charlton have equalised on the stroke of half-time at home to Fleetwood. It is Charlton 1, Fleetwood 1. Goalless between Cheltenham and Accrington Stanley. Lincoln lead Bristol Rovers by a goal to nil, but Bristol Rovers are down to 10 in that game as well. Ryan Loft sent off just before half-time. MK Dons have scored for the first time in 4 home games and they lead Oxford by a goal to nil at the break. Morecambe 0, Forest Green Rovers 0. Bolton's 5,000th game today and they lead 2-0 at Peterborough. Dion Charles got their second. 15 for the season for him. Plymouth lead Portsmouth by a goal to nil thanks to Sam Cosgrove's 12th of the season. Shrewsbury have come from a goal down at home to Port Vale to lead by 3 goals to 1 at half-time. Dennis Politich got the Port Vale goal. That's his 7th of the season. The interesting thing there was that the last time these two sides met, Politich got a hat-trick. He could do again the same today if Port Vale are going to get back into it. And Wycombe lead Derby by a goal to nil. Sam Vokes got the goal for Gareth Ainsworth's side. In League 2, AFC Wimbledon 0, Carlisle 0, Barrow 0, Newport 0. Crawley lead Crewe by a goal to nil. It's Grimsby 0, Colchester 1. They're going great guns on the road. Colchester, they've won their last 4 away from home, looking to make it 5 away from home this afternoon. Harrogate 0, Stockport 2, Hartlepool 2, Sutton 2, and Sutton are down to 10 in that game. Mansfield lead Gillingham by 2 goals to nil. Lucas Aikins got the second goal in that game, his 6th of the season. It came from the penalty spot. Goalless between Rochdale and Northampton. Stevenage lead Bradford by a goal to nil. Swindon 0, Doncaster 0. Tranmere, who are unbeaten in their last 4 at home, lead at the break against Salford by a goal to nil. And it's Walsall 1, the leaders Leyton Orient 0. In the National League this afternoon, just 3 games because it's FA Trophy weekend as well. Dagenham and Redbridge 1, Solihull Moors 1, Woking 0, Boreham Wood 1. Wrexham lead Wealdstone by a goal to nil. Paul Mullen got the goal there, so that penalty miss against Sheffield United hasn't affected him that much. In the FA Trophy itself, Aldershot 1, Dorking 0, Banbury 0, Gateshead 1, Bracknell 0, Altrincham 2, Eastleigh 0, Maidstone 2, Hungerford 1, Farsley 1, Maidenhead 0, FC Halifax 0, Southend 0, York 0, and Barnet are a goal up Torquay. In Scotland, in the Championship, it's Scottish Cup weekend, so I'll give you the Scottish Cup games in a moment. But in the Championship, Morton lead Queen's Park by 2-1. In Scottish League One, just the one game, and Airdrieonians lead the leaders Dunfermline by 2-0. In League Two, Albion Rovers 0, East Fife 1, Dumbarton 1, Annan 0, Forfar 1, Stenhouse Muir 1, and Stranraer 0. Bonnyrigg Rose 0. In the Scottish Cup this afternoon, Ayr of the Championship trail Elgin of League 2 by 1-0. It's goalless between Dundee United and Kilmarnock, and Livingston and Inverness, and Raith lead Motherwell by 2-0. In the Northern Irish Premiership at half-time, Ballymena 0, Portadown 0, Coleraine 1, Glentoran 1, Crusaders 1, Dungannon 0, and Linfield 0. Cliftonville 0. Earlier in the Women's Super League, Manchester City beat Arsenal by 2-1. In the Premier League, it finished West Ham 1, Chelsea 1. Ireland have extended their lead in the Six Nations. Sarah.
It's a bonus point try for Ireland as well. They now lead 30 points to 19 against the French in what has been billed as a Grand Slam decider. We're only in round 2, of course, but what a moment as Gary Ringrose finally went over after we've just watched breathlessly as Ireland has pounded away on the line. Still a conversion to come. We're going to talk over it in the Aviva because everyone else is. What have you made of it, Dennis Hickey?
Incredible efforts on both sides. Both sides are absolutely out on their feet with 8 minutes to go, and the French defence has been incredible. Their goal line scramble, they've been holding Ireland out, and just eventually Ireland found an extra man on the outside, Caelan Doris, who's been spectacular all day. A lovely offload in the defence, and then Gary Ringrose broke through 2 tackles to score and collapsed over the line, and it looks like to be beyond France now at this stage because both teams have given it their all.
Got to remember, France, they're the reigning Grand Slam champions. Is that about to end in 7 minutes' time? Ireland 32, France 19.
England's women are up and running at the World T20. Adam Mountford.
Yes, a clinical 7-wicket win, Mark, with almost 6 overs to spare. Dunkley a sparkling 34, only ended by an astonishing caught and bowl by Henry. Wyatt 11, Capsey 13, but it was Nat Siver and Heather Knight who took England home. Nat Siver Brunt with 40, the captain Knight 32. England have got the points on the board and they're through in terms of getting a great start to this World Cup. On 38 for 3, they win by 7 wickets.
Back to the Emirates for the second half after Matthew Bone in the news.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The United Nations has described the earthquakes in Turkey and Syria as the worst natural disaster to hit the region in a century. More than 25,000 people have died and over 1 million survivors have been left homeless. 15 people aged between 13 and 54 have now been arrested following clashes outside a hotel housing asylum seekers on Merseyside. Police described the gathering as an initially peaceful protest but said it turned violent. No injuries have been reported. And the RMT union says it will ballot its members for more walkouts on the railways soon after rejecting the latest pay offer. That was described as the best and final offer by employers.
This is 5 Live Sport with Mark Chapman.
So Ireland 32, France 19. That's on BBC Sounds now. Also on BBC Sounds and on Sports Extra from 4:45. Scotland against Wales. You can watch it on BBC Television as well. And Jamie Lyle will keep us up to date here on 5 Live.
Yes, indeed. It's a real crunch match here between a Scotland team who stunned England at Twickenham last weekend and a Welsh side smarting from their home loss to Ireland. Wales have burst Scotland's championship bubble for the past 2 years running. Warren Gatland has never lost to them in 11 matches as Wales head coach, and Scotland have never won their first 2 games in the Six Nations era. Can they back up that Calcutta Cup triumph, or will Wales boss this fixture once more and get back on track? Kick-off here is at 4:45.
Sports Extra if you want to listen to it. Earlier then in the Premier League, West Ham 1, Chelsea 1. Reaction to come during Sports Report. You'll also get reaction to all the day's 3 o'clock Premier League games, which at the moment stand as follows. Palace 0, Brighton 0, Fulham 1, Nottingham Forest 0, Leicester 3, Tottenham 1, Southampton 1, Wolves 0, and Wolves are down to 10 in that game. And at the Emirates, the leaders so far being held by Brentford. Here are Pat Nevin and Ian Dennis.
Thanks, Mark. And what a massive 45 minutes in the title race lies ahead, Pat, because the thing is that a point here for Arsenal would take them 6 clear of Manchester City. Manchester City beat Aston Villa tomorrow. They come here on Wednesday night. They lead with 3 points. that once 11-point lead that Arsenal had will have disappeared, and Manchester City will be back top of the table.
Yeah, and it'd be even worse if Arsenal lose the game. So you're right, it's a huge pivotal one, but you'll get a few pivotal weekends or weeks in the season. This is definitely one of them, particularly after the madness of last weekend.
The flip side, of course, for Arsenal is that, I mean, they do have the best home record in the Premier League. They are unbeaten at home with Newcastle, but their points return is greater with 8 wins and a draw. Indeed, Newcastle are the team to have stopped them from winning all of their games here in the Premier League this season. But if they can win, then they would go back 8 points clear, and they would then have that buffer going into that game against Manchester City on Wednesday night that is live on BBC Radio 5 Live. So Arsenal, neither side making a change at the start of the second half in their red and white shirts and white shorts. They've lost the ball though. It's in the midfield. And Tony is then fouled by Ødegaard. Peter Banks, the referee, gives a free kick. Here are the two teams. Ramsdale in goal, a defence of White, Gabriel, Saliba and Zinchenko, Partey and Xhaka, Saka, Ødegaard, Martinelli and Nketiah. Once again, it's an unnamed, unchanged 11. For Brentford, Raya is in goal. They're playing with 3 at the back. Pinnock and Aya, Ruislav and Henry are the wing-backs, right and left respectively. Norgard, Janelt and Jensen in the midfield. Tony and Mbumo up front for a Brentford team in their sky blue shirts and navy shorts. They have a free kick that Jensen is going to take. Spread across the pitch for Brentford. Jensen looking for Aya, whose downward header kept in play by Tony. Norgard's cross was blocked, and Zinchenko on this near side turns and waits. Pat Nevin.
It's very noticeable that Brentford got a lot of free kicks, midfield sort of area. They do the same thing every time. They put either me or a real possibility to put Aya on the far post and just play it out there. Arsenal never seem to get used to the fact that that's what they're doing.
Arsenal are attacking. White on the overlap. Cross though was blocked by Rico Henry. Down by the corner flag over on that far side. Arsenal playing from right to left as we look here in the second half at the Emirates on an overcast afternoon, but extremely mild. Saka, square. Zinchenko, forward ball, edge of the area, turned inside by Xhaka to Ødegaard. Back with Partey, central position once more, passes the ball out to the left. Zinchenko goes forward. Xhaka looks for the run of Saka, beaten at his near post by Raya to turn it behind, beaten away for a corner kick.
Not dissimilar to the start of the first half. Arsenal came out very quickly, passed it well, good movement. They got a little bit more ragged as the first half went on. They cannot allow that, I don't think, to happen in this game. But they would love to get an early breakthrough. That's pretty close from Saka.
Corner kick is taken short, into the penalty area it goes, and Janelt was there to break it up inside his own penalty area. It was around now in the corresponding fixture here last season that Arsenal did take the lead. Emile Smith-Rowe in the 48th minute. It was added to it 11 minutes from time by Saka before Norgard got a goal back in the 90th minute. So Arsenal might have to be once more patient this afternoon if indeed they are to get the 3 points, bearing in mind that so far the better chances have fallen to the visitors.
They have done, but very similar again. First half, Arsenal fans doing really well to get behind their team, but they still look very good in the Brentford. Good understanding between the two strikers by their front two, always working together.
Martinelli, Ødegaard, left corner of the area, turns. Book back to Martinelli once again. Martinelli waits. Doubled up almost on Martinelli. Zinchenko now goes square. This is Saliba. He passes the ball out towards White. Again, everybody back behind the ball for Brentford. Very little room for Arsenal to try and operate in. Right hand side, Saka. Ødegaard goes down the right side, sends over the cross, headed behind by me.
Yeah, with no space at all. Mentioned it at the end of the first half, Arsenal trying to play balls that weren't on. You have to keep on dragging them, you have to keep on passing it quick, clean. That's what Arteta wants to happen. Eventually someone will switch off, eventually a gap will appear, but don't try to make a gap where it isn't there. That's what Arsenal were trying to do just now.
Arsenal wait for the corner kick on that far side, the right. This expectant crowd at the Emirates, certainly they're doing their bit to try and keep Arsenal going. Corner kick far side, the right. Ødegaard now will wander away. It swung over, didn't beat the first man. That will disappoint Mikel Arteta. Tried to hook it back was Ødegaard, and instead it's Mbeumo who will lead the counter-attack. Couldn't release a crossfield pass towards Tony. Cut out by Zinchenko, and the Arsenal fans roar Arsenal on. Xhaka's forward ball to Nketiah. Left corner of the area. Nketiah has a sight of goal, crosses the ball. Ødegaard picks it up. Ødegaard with a shot straight at the keeper.
Really good break there again for Arsenal. They've not had that many opportunities to break at that sort of pace and get into those areas. He does all the right things in Nketiah, but once again, goalkeeper right behind it there. Loving this game actually. 0-0, doesn't feel like it.
Full time in Dublin, the Six Nations. Sarah Orchard.
It's a bonus point win for Ireland, and it's advantage Ireland in the race to the Six Nations title. France's run of 14 test wins is over. Full time, Ireland 32, France 19.
32-19 to Ireland. Scotland-Wales, not only is it on BBC television when that gets underway at 4:45, that's also on Sports Extra. There will be reflections from Sarah and Dennis Hickey, I'm sure, in Sports Report, and it will be a busy Sports Report at 5 with Mark Chapman, where we'll bring you the results and the reaction before our 5:30 commentary from the South Coast, Bournemouth against Newcastle United. But this is certainly a pivotal game as far as the title race is concerned, because Arsenal are being held by Brentford, who have a throw, far side the left. It's a long looping one, it's a bouncing ball, hasn't been dealt with, it's a scramble inside the penalty area. Norgard tried to nudge it back towards Mbeumo, and they just couldn't get it, but Mbeumo picks it up now on this right-hand side, and he drives forward, gets it out from underneath his feet to Rueslev, sends over the cross into the penalty area. On the stretch to head the ball away was Saliba. Mbeumo, right corner of the box, loses the ball, Ødegaard clears, Pat Nevin.
Brilliant piece of play there. Just a long throw and nothing to... Goalkeeper comes out there. Raya there gets caught by Nketiah, who nearly wins it. Had to bounce another way. It could have been going straight towards the goal. But when they get those long throws, Brentford, they get so many players in there. That could have bounced anywhere at all there. Brentford very unlucky.
Bradford City have equalised at Stevenage in League Two. Stevenage, who were looking to go top. 1-1 now at Broadhall Way. Wraith Rovers 2, Motherwell 1. Motherwell have a goal back in the Scottish Cup 5th round, and Bolton have got a third goal at Peterborough. Peterborough 0, Bolton Wanderers 3. We're in the 8th minute of the second half on 5 Live in the World Service. Ball is passed out towards White. Infield now to Partey. Gives it away first time, tries to win it back. Break on though for Brentford. And Mbeumo now in a central position midway through his own half. And Ayer passes the ball towards Tony, who waits for it to reach him over the halfway line on the right-hand side. Tony goes on the inside of Gabriel. Gabriel holds him up. Tony complains. I don't think he was happy with any movement off the ball there from Mbeumo. Looks a very frustrated figure. Brentford on the halfway line, go back towards Pinnock.
Yeah, but you can understand they worked so hard. I think Mbeumo and him have worked together brilliantly well so far in the game. But I think he was more annoyed with the referee. He felt he was getting dragged back there. But that was a chance for Brentford to break quickly. And I think that's the first time they've not used it well. They held it up too slow. Didn't get a chance at it.
Over 6 hours now in the Premier League since Brentford last conceded a goal. Livingston 0, Inverness 1 is the latest score in the Scottish Cup 5th round. White on that far side, the right, chips the ball forward towards Saka. Saka can't get the better of Rico Henry. Dispossesses him though. Saka has done well. Saka cuts it back, edge of the area. Ødegaard into the penalty area, and it drops over the head of Xhaka. And out of play it goes for a goal kick, 0-0.
But no space at all. They play it to that back post there, and he is touch tight with Xhaka, isn't he? He's not left him for a millisecond there. Xhaka thinks he can go to the back post there and get a little bit of space. No chance at all. Maybe one slight little mistake there. I think it was Henry, wasn't it? Over there with Saka on the far side, lets him get by. But apart from that, they've hardly switched off for a second, this Brentford team. They've been really impressive with their organisational structure.
And you can see with that structure and the organisation that Pat Nevin is talking about as to why they've only suffered 4 Premier League defeats all season. Only Newcastle and Arsenal have actually lost fewer games in the Premier League. 0-0. And you look at the clean sheets as well. 8 clean sheets for David Raya. Nick Pope and Aaron Ramsdale have only kept more. As here is Rueslev. Over the halfway line. Blonde-haired midfielder threads it through to Norgard, who runs away from Ødegaard. Strikes the The body,
hand there,
yeah.
maybe. But no, it was close enough to Friday.
His arms were down by his side of Gabriel. Jensen, though, swings over across from the right-hand side. But they've attacked when they've had the opportunity to, Brentford.
They've shown great match intelligence, haven't they? You know, when they have got the ball in a good area, it's as if the team know, right, we've got good possession now. We're comfortable where we are just now. Let's flood forward as soon as we can when we get that good possession. They've had made the mistake in that area as well. And that's match intelligence, not of one player, of a team as a unit. That really impressive.
It's a throw on that far side that White is going to take. There's just a slight pause in play. We'll go to Fulham now. Masfarouki.
Fulham still lead 1-0, but a great chance for a second. William with the strike from the edge of the area. I think it was blocked by Navas onto the right-hand post, and Pellini's gone close as well from a corner. Fulham well on top. They still lead by a goal to nil.
Tony with the back heel. Janelt picks it up. Loose ball to Mbumo inside the penalty area. He finds Jensen, lays it off to Tony, who placed it just wide. Right-footed, it must have been no more than a foot wide of the right-hand post. It's gone behind for a goal kick. It's another chance that they haven't taken. It remains 0-0, but we're going to find out about the leaders in the Championship, Burnley. There's been a goal, Juliet Farrington.
They've extended their lead over Preston as well. It's 2-0 Burnley, 55 minutes gone here at Turf Moor in front of this sellout crowd, and it's a second from Nathan Teller right on the edge of the area. No chance of stopping that. 2 for him, 2 for Burnley. Could be 10 in a row for them. They lead Preston by 2 goals to 0.
Yeah, 10th straight win then, as Jules says. Bolton have just rattled in a 4th. At Peterborough, and Mbumo to Ruoslev. Ruoslev across the face of goal. The flag was up anyway. It was saved by Ramsdale. Bottom of League 2, Rochdale. They've lost their last 4, but at Scotland they lead Northampton by a goal to 0. Arsenal are attacking. Ødegaard touches the ball forward. Saka picks it up on the right-hand side. You're up to date with the goals as they go in on 5 Live, BBC Sounds and the World Service. It remains 0-0, the only goalless game in the Premier League, as Zinchenko is forward. And now towards Nketiah. Nketiah threads it through to Martinelli with his back to goal. Back to Zinchenko, rolls it in. And it's with Martinelli to Partey. Passes the ball back towards Zinchenko. Zinchenko with the cross comes shot that drifts out of play for a goal kick. Top of the table clash in League 1. Paul Scott, you've had another goal.
Ipswich 2, Sheffield Wednesday 2. From 2-0 down to 2-2. The home side have levelled 5 minutes into the second half. Leif Davis with a free kick from the right-hand side, left-footed. It may have taken a deflection on the way through, but he is claiming it. Game on here, 2-2.
When I say that this is the only goalless game, I keep forgetting that Brighton did have a goal ruled out for offside. So Palace 0, Brighton and Hove Albion 0 is also goalless. Fulham 1, Nottingham Forest 0, Leicester 2, Tottenham 1, Southampton 1, Wolves 0. Bradford City have come from behind. Andy Cook on the score sheet yet again. Did so last week against Mansfield, and at Broadhall Way he slotted in a penalty. Stevenage, who was second, and now trailing at home to Mark Hughes' side by 2 goals to 1. Remember, Leyton Orient, the leaders, are also behind to Walsall in that division. And Shrewsbury 3, Port Vale 2 is a latest score in League 1. And at Tannadice in the Scottish Cup, it's now Dundee United 0, Kilmarnock 1. Kilmarnock have got a goal there in that 5th round tie. Arsenal are attacking. Zinchenko, left-hand side, edges his way forward. Partey 35 yards out from goal. And now it's with White forward. Ødegaard. White goes on the overlap. Ødegaard doesn't use him, chips the ball forward to Nketiah, through towards the goalkeeper Raya. Another goal at Burnley, Juliet.
It's a hat-trick. Nathan Teller scoring all 3 goals in this Lancashire derby so far. Burnley 3, Preston 0. Preston being torn apart. Woodman ended up on his back. It is so easy for them. We haven't even played an hour. Burnley 3, Preston 0.
So impressive, Burnley, and easy on the eye as well, Vincent Kompany's side. Let's get an update from St Mary's. Chris Coles.
Southampton still lead Wolves by 1 goal to 0, but a real chance for 2 for Southampton. Max Kilman, short back pass. Suleimana raced through, tried to take it round Jose Sarr, who smothered him in the nick of time. Southampton pushing for a second. They have a 1-goal lead over 10-man Wolves.
Xhaka with a shot, charged down. That was by Ruoslev, who was back there helping out. Trossard is going to be coming on for Arsenal, still being held. Partey threads it through. Aya tidies up. Raya with the clearance. You can now start to sense the frustration, Pat Nevin.
You can, and it's getting a little bit messier, and I'm not sure who that suits best. And certainly Arsenal want to get messy, because they're feeling ragged in that back line there. That will help the gap to appear. At the moment, Arsenal needs something to gap to appear, or Trossard, who's just about to come on to do something special.
What about Selhurst Park? What's happening? Sahel Sahi.
We played an hour, Ian. Crystal Palace 0, Brighton 0. Brighton, similar pattern to the first half. They're dominating. Crystal Palace are playing off scraps. What Brighton could do with Trossard, 7 Premier League goals when he was here at Brighton. Crystal Palace 0, Brighton 0.
Trossard waiting to come on. Mind you, he's gone 8 games for Brighton and Arsenal without a goal, actually, as Trossard. 7 goals he scored so far. Yet to get off the mark, but he's only made 3 appearances since that switch from the Amex to Arsenal. Arsenal are attacking. Ødegaard opens up for him, sends over a cross, aimed towards Nketiah, headed away by the Brentford defence. Fleetwood are now leading at Charlton by 2-1 in League One. Now it is with Gabriel, 30 yards out from goal. Gabriel switches play out towards White. White brings it down well. Right hand side. Waiting. Looking is Saka, who fires in a left-footed shot, cannons away off a Brentford defender. Little flick there by Zinchenko. Xhaka will prevent it going out of play for a goal kick, but it's going to be a Brentford throw. Here comes Trossard.
Yeah, good hard work there, and exactly what you need to do. As you press down now, not a goal kick, not a good place to have a throw in there for Brentford. Also gives you a chance to make the changes instead. Maybe Martinelli's come off and they're a little bit quiet in the second half, but just beginning to see the first signs of little tiredness in that back line for Brentford there. They aren't getting out to the wide areas as quickly as they were before. Trossard will have noticed that.
So Trossard has come on for Martinelli. That's the change that has been made here at the Emirates. It remains 0-0. Pat Murphy's watching Leicester-Tottenham.
It's still Leicester 3, Tottenham 1. Leicester doing the right thing early on in this half. They're concentrating hard to stifle and negate Spurs' ability to counter-attack at speed. At the other end, Dio's had the nightmare day. He's been booked for a foul on Maddison. It's Leicester 3, Tottenham 1.
Tuesday in San Siro, Milan against Spurs in the Champions League. Wednesday night we're back here. Arsenal against Manchester City. Dortmund against Chelsea will be on Sports Extra. Barcelona, Manchester United in the Europa League on Thursday evening. England's women in the Arnold Cup on Thursday night. That's all the football to look forward to during the week. This is the first of 4 games this weekend on BBC Radio 5 Live. We've got Bournemouth, Newcastle at 5:30. And then tomorrow, Leeds United against Manchester United at 2. Manchester City against Aston Villa to follow that at 4:30. Zinchenko, left corner of the area. Arsenal still being held. Haven't really, apart from that Saka opportunity, created much in this second half so far. 62 minutes played. They lose the ball, and it's with Ruesler. Janel tries to bring it away out of defence, gets caught in possession. Zinchenko, forward ball, and Nketiah with his back to goal, turns, can't get any range. It was always on the rise off his right foot. Goal kick 0-0.
A couple of them, it's been like that now. The likes of Xhaka, shooting when it wasn't on. That time Nketiah, it's not on. You're too far out. They're exactly where they want you to be, that Brentford team. Got to keep your mind straight. Arteta telling, calm down, do the right thing.
I can now say that this is the only goalless game in the top flight because you have had a goal, Sahel Sahi.
And it's gone to Brighton. Crystal Palace 0, Brighton 1. A wicked cross from the left-hand side from Estupinian. And Solly March darted in at the far post on the half volley. It flashed past Guaita. Crystal Palace 0, Brighton 1.
Might be concerns for Crystal Palace being dragged into that relegation battle without a win in 6 before today. Livingston 0, Inverness 2 is the latest score in the Scottish Cup 5th round. This is 5 Live. The Arsenal support is unwavering. As Zinchenko ushers Nketiah to go forward, he dropped deep. And now it's with Ødegaard to Saka. Saka left-hand side, wriggles away from one challenge, enters the penalty area, shot charged down, comes towards White, sends over the cross. Xhaka was there, couldn't get there. Ball stays in play. Trossard, left-hand side. Back to Zinchenko, it's a low cross and it's cleared by Jensen. Can't get out now, Brentford.
Yeah, they can't, because the 2 strikers, Wemo and Tony, have worked their socks off. They've run themselves into the ground, and you just wonder if you need a little bit more pace in there to give them some sort of help up front, because I think some of them, they're running on fumes at the moment.
Ødegaard said that it was an opportunity to get back to our usual levels here today. They have certainly had a lot of possession, but they just can't find a way through past this stubborn Brentford side. Trossard to Gabriel, Once again, Brentford have everybody back in that final third as a shot from distance from Gabriel off his left foot. Struck it well enough, but Raya was well positioned.
Yeah, I know why you get an ooh for it. But really, 25 yards out, keeper sees it all the way, straight at the goalkeeper. You know, it's time not to panic. It's time to keep on doing the Arsenal thing. You're good at it. Keep on looking for those gaps there. There aren't that many of them around, and of course, if you might get a little bit of a reflection and a deflection, that might help.
Xhaka was just fouled by Jensen inside the centre circle. You look at Arsenal's home record, and in the last 16 games, only Brighton in a League Cup tie, when they won by 3-1, and Newcastle here, when it finished 0-0, have stopped Arsenal from winning. They are used to winning here at the Emirates. They need to win here today, going into that top of the table clash against Manchester City on Wednesday.
They still look the more likely to score because they've got so much of the ball.
Saka trying to get round the back. Saka with the early cross. Trossard is there. Black stays down. And Trossard with his first goal for Arsenal at the far post stabs it in. The goal that Pat Nevin said was coming arrives. It's his first for the club. And how about that in terms of importance? Arsenal look to go 8 points clear. 1-0 up.
Exactly what they should be doing. If you're playing against a team that's defending deep, stretch them wide to the right. Arsenal did that. Brilliant intelligence from the right hand side there, bringing on the right man at the right time. Trossard at the back post. You could feel that little bit of tiredness coming too. I think Frank should have made a change a little bit quicker than they did. He didn't make any, and that one little gap that you were saying was going to come eventually came. Trossard didn't miss it. Super goal at the back post.
Their patience has been rewarded, and that's not just for the players, that's for the supporters too.
They've stuck by them. They've absolutely stuck by. It could have been frustrating. They started to lose it a little bit and started shooting from distance when it wasn't on. Don't do that. That's not what you're going to get through a packed defence with that most of the time. They went back to being Arsenal, doing what they do best. Get to the byline, get a brilliant cross in, but you can't defend. You simply can't defend that.
First goal in 6 hours and 16 minutes that Brentford have conceded in the Premier League, and what an important goal it could be as far as the title race is concerned. 1-0 to the Arsenal is the chant inside the Emirates. Crawley 1, Crew 2 is a latest score in League 2, and amidst the din I was told to go somewhere and I couldn't actually hear where it was. It's to Pat Murphy at Leicester.
It's getting a bit fractious here now. Leicester still lead 3-1, but Bentancur has gone off with what looks like a serious left knee injury. He's been replaced by Pape Sarr. Remember, AC Milan on the horizon next Tuesday night. A rash of bookings turning up from both sides. I wouldn't at all be surprised if it was a red card courtesy of Michael Sells with the referee shortly. Leicester 3, Tottenham 1.
That game at San Siro will be live on BBC Radio 5 Live. A long throw comes in, and as referee Peter Banks has given a free kick. There's a player down.
Definite push that, without even a shadow of a doubt. Xhaka has been known to go down now and again when he's not badly injured, but that was a push. Interesting. I'll tell you what's really interesting now. Thomas Frank was going to make 2 or 3 substitutions. He's probably going to have to change it now. He's probably going to keep the same system. Probably going to go a back 4 now. Really intriguing to see what he does now. Does he go for it?
That's the voice of Pat Nevin on BBC Radio 5 Live. The significance of that goal you can feel now inside the stadium. It's like there's been a valve been released with the tension that had been building.
Yeah, you can feel it, and it was in the stands, yeah, but it certainly was with some of the players as well that stopped doing the right thing. You know, they're still playing well, and as I said some moments before the goal, that, you know, the team more likely to score, but they had to do the right things, and then they scored the most Arsenal of Arsenal goals. Brilliantly done.
There's been a goal at Selhurst Park. Sahel Sahi.
Yeah, horrible mistake. Crystal Palace have levelled it up. Just a ball flighted in from a free kick, dropped by Robert Sanchez. No one was around him. James Tompkins couldn't believe it. He poked it in 2 yards out. Crystal Palace 1, Brighton 1.
Arsenal are looking to extend their unbeaten run to 13 games here at home in the Premier League since Brighton actually beat them in April. 1-1 then in Palace Brighton. Fulham 1, Nottingham Forest 0. Leicester City 2, Spurs 1, as we've been hearing from Pat, and Southampton still lead against the 10 men of Wolves by a goal to nil. And Mbumo sends over a cross, cleared away. Ødegaard back towards Saka. Saka with the assist. That's 8 assists now in the Premier League to go alongside his 7 goals. As Ødegaard charges forward, referee has played the advantage. It's with Trossard. Trossard inside the area with a dipping right-footed effort. And that's over the top and goal kick. Arsenal lead 1-0.
Yeah, good play there. Real pace in the break there. And you've got to say it, great refereeing as well. I mean, he could have given a free kick there, and I think it was Ødegaard that was getting drawn back. But the ball goes through, ends up a shot towards the target, and almost a very good goal. But still waiting for Frank. Well, actually, I'll stop waiting now. He's going to make that change that I suspected he would make. He's thought about it. And I think there could be a couple of attackers going on now.
Well, whilst the double change is made for Brentford, we'll go to St Mary's. Chris Coles.
Bottom of the Premier League, Southampton 1, 10-man Wolves 0, but the team with one fewer man giving it a real go. The pacey Adama Traore causing all sorts of problems, bursting into the penalty area, couldn't quite get his left shot away, and Wolves have thrown on new boy João Gomez, the excited Brazilian. This one is not over yet. 20 minutes to play. Southampton 1, 10-man Wolves 0.
Johan Wisser has come on to replace Mbumo, and then the other change was Josh De Silva, who they signed from Arsenal in 2018, had all sorts of problems with a really bad hip injury. He has come on as well, and the player Janelt has gone off, so De Silva for Janelt. That's the double change being made by Brentford. Back to Pat Murphy at Leicester.
Another goal for Leicester City. Splendid work by Iheanacho again. Timing his pass perfectly for Harvey Barnes to score with his right foot across the keeper. Leicester 4, Tottenham 1.
1-0 to Arsenal here against Brentford. 4-1 then for Leicester City, with Harvey Barnes adding to Tottenham's misery. Not the sort of form you want to be travelling in the Champions League to Milan in midweek after 3 straight wins for Spurs. Contrast that to the emotions here for Arsenal, who lead by a goal to nil and are looking to go 8 points clear at the top of the table. And they're on the attack yet again. Saka has White on the overlap. White with a cross, caught at his near post by Raya.
Yeah, playing very well, smooth now. But this game isn't over. You know that Brentford will keep on trying to attack on the break. Arsenal, hold the ball as much as you like just now. Yeah, play it with pace. Try and tire the opposition out. As I say, they make the changes in the personnel. No change in system for Brentford. Slightly surprised at that.
In the Six Nations, Ireland beat France 32-19. Scotland-Wales, the build-up now is starting on Sports Extra, or has started indeed, for a 4:45 kick-off. That's on Sports Extra as well as BBC Television. Jamie Lyle will keep us up to date with regular updates here as it's a free kick.
Interesting thing going on at the touchline just in front of us here. Goalkeeper getting the technical instructions that he has to pass on. Don't often see that, but he's doing it.
Free kick that Brentford take. It's 10 yards in from the left touchline. They're trailing by a goal to nil. It's midway through the Arsenal half. We're going to St Mary's after this free kick because there has been another goal where Southampton were leading the 10 men of Wolves by a goal to nil. Swindon 0, Doncaster 1. Jensen waits to take the free kick for Brentford. Arsenal have everybody back. 17 minutes remain of normal time. Jensen, right-footed, floats it. Pinnock up from the back. Tony at the far post unmarked. Header away by Saliba. Wisser heads it forward. Still hasn't been dealt with inside that penalty area. Header on. Ramsdale comes and headed in from close range. Ivan Toney couldn't miss with a header. And Brentford have equalised. That's a setback for Arsenal and their title aspirations. Arsenal 1, Brentford 1.
Staggering. It is exactly what Brentford do. It's a set piece. What they're trying to do is put it into the box and just mayhem. They want mayhem. They don't know where it's going to bounce. They've tried it 3 or 4 times in the game so far. They win the first header, then it can go anywhere. Pinball in the middle there, and it eventually lands to the foot, crossed across, and that's a finish that you cannot miss when it comes to you. We'll wait to see if 100% is definitely going to be given. I suspect it's okay.
Arsenal have been pegged back. They're not the only ones. Chris Coles.
Southampton have been pegged back. The 10 men of Wolves are level. Southampton 1, Wolves 1. Traore causing all sorts of problems. Shot blocked, and the ball turned into his own net rather haplessly by Jan Bednarek. There's a big 15 minutes ahead for Southampton and Nathan Jones. 1-1.
VAR having a look at this for a possible offside. It might not stand. VAR has intervened at Leicester. Pat Murphy.
Yes, Ian, we're back to 3-1. Thought it was 4-1. Beautifully timed pass by Iheanacho, converted by Barnes, but fractionally offside. Spurs, they breathe again, but they're still getting hammered here. 3-1 up to Leicester City.
Possible offside VAR check, Pat.
Do you know what? I don't think it's obvious to a lot of people here, but I actually think it was probably 3 passes before. Yeah, it's exactly the one that I was thinking about. It was 3 passes before, and we're going to look see if he's offside in the back post there when it was played in. Now, if you actually, I'm trying to see who's attacking the ball.
Is that Norgard?
Yeah, and if he's the one who actually gets the touch on the ball, it will be offside. I've had a really good look at it here, the referee.
Well, Lee Mason is at Stockley Park. Look,
but it's just
it's
a question. It's a question of who actually gets the next touch. They're frozen here and looking at Stockley Park. Certainly there's a little look at Aya. I didn't think he did touch the ball. He'd gone well inside. It's not Aya. It's a player just behind him.
It's I think that's Pinnock and Gabriel who were in the tussle. So they're having a long look when that's taken.
Man, I didn't think he was the one that got the ball. He wasn't the one that got the ball.
Comes to Tony, doesn't it?
I think this should be given. Having looked at it now, they've rolled it on now. I think this should be given.
But then Pinnock does get a knock on.
But three touches later.
Right. Goal stands. Thomas Frank celebrates down below. Mikel Arteta with a shake of the head turns away. A goal at Watford. John Bennett.
Equaliser for Watford. Watford 1, Blackburn 1. It had been coming. They dominated the second half. It's Wesley Hoot on his first start for the club, smashing in after Blackburn couldn't clear a free kick. Watford 1, Blackburn 1.
Arsenal's lead stands at 6 points at the top of the table. 1-1 then here at the Emirates. Zinchenko comes forward now. 25 yards out from goal, onto his right foot, shoots low, saved by the goalkeeper. Team news from our next commentary at Bournemouth now. John Akers.
No Callum Wilson for Eddie Howe's Newcastle. A minor injury, we're told. Isak comes in. Dominic Solanke is back for Bournemouth. That's great news for them. He's in for Semenyo. Stevens also replaces Mepham at the back.
Danny Gabardon alongside John. Swindon 0, Doncaster 2, Harrogate 1, Stockport 3, Stevenage 2, Bradford City 2. You're up to date with the goals as they go in on BBC Radio 5 Live in the World Service. 1-1 here in the Premier League. Rico Henry lays it back. Jensen delivers the cross. Out of play it goes for a goal kick, and we have 13 minutes remaining. I'll run through the latest scores elsewhere in the Scottish Cup. Ayr United 0, Elgin City 1. These are 5th round ties. Dundee United 0, Kilmarnock 1, Livingston 0, Inverness 2. Wraith Rovers leading Motherwell by 2-1. Celtic St Mirren is a 5:30 kickoff. Pat Nevin.
Yeah, Arsenal trying to play out from the back early in the game. They were allowed to do that. Got high pressing there for Brentford. I was going to ask the question, are they going to go and try for the win? It would appear so.
Certainly it is going to be a massive 12 minutes of normal time that remain, and Arsenal get a free kick just inside the Brentford half. Latest scores in League 2: Wimbledon 0, Carlisle 0, Barrow 0, Newport is also goalless, Crawley 1, Crewe 2, Grimsby 0, Colchester United 1, Harrogate 1, Stockport County 3, Hartlepool 2, the 10 men of Sutton 2, Mansfield Town 2, Gillingham 0. Bottom of the table Rochdale leading Northampton by a goal to 0. Stevenage 2, Bradford City 2, Swindon 0, Doncaster Rovers 2, Tranmere 1, Salford 0. And the leaders, Leyton Orient, are behind still at Walsall by a goal to 0. Arsenal are attacking. Just over 10 minutes remaining here on 5 Live. And Nketiah links up with Xhaka. Left-hand side, down towards the byline. Turn behind for a corner kick.
He's like really lively, Nketiah. He's one of these players that, OK, he's playing up front, but when he drops off and gets the ball in the pocket, he looks fantastic. In fact, he looks much better than playing as the lone striker. He loves that area and looks so dangerous.
Corner is taken short, play to Ødegaard. Ødegaard opts to cross rather than shoot. He was unmarked actually inside the penalty area. Arsenal are playing from right to left. They're being held 1-1. Gabriel, right-hand side, just in from the touchline on that far side, the right. White now goes in field. Xhaka, long way out from goal. Goes further out towards Trossard. Trossard comes forward, passes the ball, laid off towards Partey. Fractionally played behind Trossard. Arsenal still have it though. Zinchenko on this near side, the left, about 10 yards in from the touchline. Can't thread it through the first time. Comes back to him. Goes infield to Trossard. And Nketiah, sharp turn inside the area. And Nketiah now onto his right foot, tries to pull it back. It was a block to clear it away, and Arsenal are putting Brentford under pressure once again.
Yeah, but lovely play there by Nketiah. When he gets the ball in those areas, he can dummy players. He puts them off their feet just by a little shimmy of the hips. It's so dangerous.
Here is Zinchenko. He's got Nketiah ahead of him. Edge of the area, shoots left-footed. It was always going away from goal. Goal kick 1-1.
Yeah, that's not a bad effort. Zinchenko actually has a very good game. He started off incredibly well, had a little bit of a quieter period for about 15 minutes, but he's back into it now. He knows that he might be the most important player on this team because the gaps are still wide. That's where the areas are that Arsenal can get some sort of chance. If they keep on playing wide and don't panic, another one will come.
Fabio Vieira is coming on, Granit Xhaka is coming off. I've given you the latest scores in the Scottish Cup 5th round in League 2. These are the latest scores in League 1. Barnsley, despite being down to 10 men, lead Cambridge 2-0. Burton 0, Exeter 0. Charlton 1, Fleetwood 2. Fleetwood, who had actually before today had lost their last 4 in League 1 then, winning at the Valley. Cheltenham 0, Accrington 0. Ipswich 2, Sheffield Wednesday 2 in that top of the table clash. Lincoln lead Bristol Rovers, who are down to 10 men by a goal to 0. MK Dons 1, Oxford 1. Morecambe and Forest Green is goalless. Peterborough 0, Bolton Wanderers 4, Plymouth lead Portsmouth 2-1, Shrewsbury 3, Port Vale 2. That could be 6 successive wins for Steve Cotterell's side, and Wycombe 2, Derby County 1. So Derby's unbeaten run of 15 games is in jeopardy there. Championship scores to come, 5 live with 9 minutes remaining of normal time. Arsenal 1, Brentford 1. It's Palace 1, Brighton 1, Fulham 1, Forest 0, Leicester 3, Tottenham 1, Southampton against Wolves is 1-1 also in the Premier League, despite the fact that Wolves are down to 10 men. Cross comes in from the right-hand side. Roerslev heads it behind for a corner.
Again, they had to defend very well that back post there. I think there was a little shove in there. Arsenal a wee bit unlucky, didn't get a chance to go and attack the ball. But again, that's better. That's how they scored the first goal, Arsenal. Holding it, playing it quickly, then getting wide to players like Saka to put the ball in there.
8 minutes remaining. Livingston 0, Inverness 3 in the Scottish Cup. Arsenal corner kick near side the left. It's Brentford fans' voices you can hear. Corner kick into a crowded area, and it was a head injury there. That was me, I think, who has stayed down. Referee Peter Banks has got to stop it. As soon as he goes down holding his head, he's got to stop play.
Yeah, Nketiah said, get up, there's nothing wrong with you. Nketiah's fuming with him. Seems to think that he's just acting, to kill a little bit of time. I mean, it's one thing. Any player who feigns a head injury and it can be proved, I would send them off.
Yeah,
I would absolutely send them off. I don't think it's acceptable in any way whatsoever in the game, with the dangers that head injuries, can cause during games, but also in the future as well. We're going to have to look at it again here. When it comes in, we'll come back to you in that.
Latest scores in the Championship: Blackpool 0, Rotherham 0, Bristol City 1, Norwich 0, looking to go 6 unbeaten. Burnley 3, Preston 0. The leaders, 10 straight wins it will be for Vincent Kompany's side. Cardiff 1, Middlesbrough 2. Middlesbrough still going so well under Michael Carrick. Coventry 1, Luton 1. QPR 0, Millwall 1. Sheffield United 2, Swansea City 0. Sheffield United, of course, second, and those two still 10 points clear. And then the games between Stoke and Hull, Sunderland and Reading are goalless. Watford 1, Blackburn 1, Wigan and Huddersfield remains 0-0. Another goal at Leicester, Pat Murphy.
This time it really is 4-1 to Leicester, and this time VAR won't save Tottenham. Poor defending again. Harvey Barnes, edge of the box, time to line it all up with his right foot. Fine goal, but shocking defending again. Leicester 4, Tottenham 1.
Their win at Villa last week was their first Premier League win in 6, so back-to-back successes for Brendan Rodgers' side. Bolton have got a 5th goal. Peterborough 0, Bolton 5. Still the stoppage here with me down injured. We'll go to Selhurst Park, Sahel Sahi.
7 minutes to play here, Ian. Crystal Palace 1, Brighton 1. Brighton pouring forward. Crystal Palace hanging on. McAllister just with a header wide from a corner. Crystal Palace 1, Brighton 1.
Let's go back to Fulham, Masfaruqi.
8 minutes to play here. Fulham still in lead by a goal to 0, but Forest on top. They could still get something from this game. Aurier with a chance a couple of yards out straight at Leno, and then Mitrovic trying to head in across at the other end. This game's really opened up now. Fulham 1, Forest 0.
Arsenal are attacking 1-1. Crucial game at the top of the table in the Premier League, live on 5 Live in the World Service. 6 minutes remain. Arsenal pegged back through that Tony header. Here is Partey, edge of the D, looks for a shooting opportunity, passes the ball to White, rolls it in low, cleared away by Pinnock, out for an Arsenal throw.
Better, brilliant Arsenal. That's exactly what you need to do there. very unlucky. Final ball in just wasn't good enough. You have to get it between the defenders and the goalkeeper there. Just hit the first defender, but much better there from Arsenal. Well done.
Arsenal on that right-hand side. Saka already with 1 assist, rolls it forward. White waits level with the penalty area on that far side, the right. He bypasses Saka. Now it's with Saliba. Still the Arsenal supporters back their team 100% to the hill, urging them on. Trossard, who gave them the lead. 6 yards in from the touchline. Runs forward now, edge of the area, still running in field. Passes the ball to Saliba along the ground. Saliba, his forward ball cut out by Jensen. 5 minutes of normal time remain. Saliba to Saka, outside the penalty area. Plays it short and in field. Now they work it to Zinchenko, outside the area, onto his left foot. That's blocked. Comes then towards Saka. Swings at it first time, left-footed, over the top. Leyton Orient, the leaders of League Two, have got an equaliser at the Bescott Stadium. Walsall 1, Leyton Orient 1. And Barrow are down to 10 men. And Wraith Rovers are going to pull off an upset in the Scottish Cup. They lead Motherwell now 3-1 in that 5th round tie at Starks Park.
Mounty Steel men are struggling up at Starks Park. Hard one for them. But just now, once again, you look at Arsenal, you think you've got to be calm. I know it's hard, but you've got to be calm. There's a shot in there by Zinchenko. It ain't on. Then they take the volley. It ain't on. You've got possession. You're in the final third there. You've got to keep on asking the right sorts of questions. Arsenal have been a brilliant team, but now and again they do slightly panic in that last third.
Well, the right sort of question that Arsenal fans will be asking very, very soon is how much added on time there will be. Because there have been a number of substitutions, there have been a couple of stoppages in this second half. Sunderland are leading Reading by 1-0. Tony Mowbray's side just lost 1 of their last 7 without a win in 5 before that game for Reading at the Stadium of Light. It's Sunderland 1, Reading 0. Arsenal are attacking. And it's with Saliba. Passes the ball towards White. Time ticking away. Ball chipped forward. Prevents the ball from going out of play for a corner kick. Instead it will be an Arsenal throw 10 yards up from the corner flag over on that far hand side, the right, as Mikel Arteta in his grey slacks and his black jacket to match that jet black hair, watching and looking quite calm, despite the fact, bearing in mind that they rarely drop points when they take the lead.
Yeah, if it's 1 point out of the last 6, that would be a real disappointment for the position they're in. But don't give up in Arsenal. I think there's chances to come yet in this game. Zinchenko with a cross, repelled by the head of Norgard. Bouncing ball. Tony, who got the equaliser, lays it towards Wissa. Wissa running forward. Stopped by Partey. QPR have got a goal back. QPR 1, Millwall 2 in the Championship. We have under 3 minutes remaining. Arsenal 30 yards out from goal with Zinchenko. Zinchenko can't thread it through. That was stopped by De Silva, but he runs back, retrieves it, passes the ball to Gabriel, who along the ground now finds the feet of Trossard, level with the area left-hand side, running forward. Trossard passes the ball, little leg, might turn by Nketiah, might come to Saka, scooped off his toes by the goalkeeper Raya. Yeah, they're showing for a penalty kick, but nothing from Nketiah at that point in time. Nice little turn there, but goalkeeper there goes very unorthodox way. He picked the ball up, but he picks it up there, calling for a penalty kick, but I don't think they're going to get one there. Still chances for both.
Sorry, Pat. Huddersfield sacked their manager Mark Fotheringham in midweek. Has it worked? Has there been that bounce back? There's been a goal. Chris Latcham.
And it's not gone that way. Wigan 1, Huddersfield 0. Huge goal, huge goal. Huddersfield were climbing out of the relegation zone. Now it's Wigan that have gone above them. It's Jack Blotmore with a header from a corner. Wigan 1, Huddersfield 0.
Cross comes in from the right. Sean Maloney, of course, only his second game since he took charge of Wigan. It remains 1-1 here. We're inside the penultimate minute of normal time. Arsenal are coming forward, and it's with Nketiah. Picks it up ahead of him, finds Vieira. Vieira to Trossard, left-hand side, into the penalty area it goes. Nketiah takes it on, the angle is tight. Nketiah with his back to goal, back towards Trossard. Trossard towards Zinchenko. There has been a dramatic finish at Southampton as Brentford break up that attack. Who scored? Chris Coles.
Wolves, the 10 man of Wolves have scored. Disaster for Southampton, and Nathan Jones with 2 minutes to play. João Gomez on his debut, bursting into the penalty area, finding the top corner and heaping the pressure on Nathan Jones. Southampton 1, Wolves 2.
That would be a 50 feet out of 6. De Silva and Trossard getting in a bit of a tangle a wrestling match over the ball. Coventry, who are drawing 1-1 with Luton, are down to 10 men. Bradford City have got a late goal at Broadhall Way. Stevenage 2, Bradford City 3, Burton 1, Exeter 0, and you're up to date with the goals as they go in. And now, Pat, it's all eyes on how much Simon Hooper, the fourth official, is going to add here.
Yeah, I think De Silva's human there because he was through and breaking. There was an off-the-ball incident. They've got a free kick, but they were breaking there. They're really annoyed by it.
Bit of goal at Bramall Lane, Katie Smith.
And it's Sheffield United 3, Swansea 0. Bogle with all the work into the area, takes it to the byline, back into Osborne, his shot blocked, and Ollie Burney there to tap it home. About to go unbeaten in 10. Sheffield United 3, Swansea 0.
Just no let up from the front two, Burnley and Sheffield United. 5 minutes of added on time. Arteta is not impressed. As that board was raised, he was already berating Simon Hooper, the fourth official. There's been a goal at Fulham, that's Faruqi.
And it's gone for Fulham. Manor Solomon's come on and finish into the bottom left-hand corner. A good counter-attacking move from Fulham as Forest stretch the game. Fulham 2, Forest 0.
Let's get news of that sending off I told you about Shoujo at Coventry.
Coventry 1, Luton 1, but Coventry will play the last 5 minutes here with 10 men. Josh Wilson Esperan sent off for a foul on Fred Onyedinma as Luton were trying to break from defence. Still 1-1, Coventry down to 10.
Still 1-1 here. Drop points for Arsenal. You look at their record when they've scored first in the Premier League. They've won 23 of 24 games when they've scored the opening goal in the Premier League.
It's
very rare for them to drop points.
It seemed so unlikely. When they got that goal, they were such confidence, but we know what Brentford are like, particularly from set pieces. It's almost impossible to defend against them sometimes.
Poor old Duncan Ferguson can't buy a win at Forest Green. They were leading at Morecambe by a goal to 0, but Cole Stockton has equalised in the 89th minute. Are we to have a dramatic goal here at the Emirates? It earlier finished West Ham 1, Chelsea 1. Latest scores: Crystal Palace 1, Brighton 1, Fulham lead Forest 2-0, Leicester 4, Tottenham 1, Southampton 1. They were leading. The 10 men of Wolves have come back to lead 2-1 at St Mary's. Commentary to come from Bournemouth, Newcastle at 5:30 after Sports Report. Arsenal sending a cross from the left, cleared away by Jensen. They're underway now at Murrayfield. Jamie Lyle.
Scotland looking to go 2 from 2 for the first time in the Six Nations era against a Wales side they've only beaten twice since 2007. A couple of minutes gone here, no score in Edinburgh.
Ball played up towards Nketiah. That's on Sports Extra, by the way. It's also on BBC Television. Scotland, Wales, Ireland beat France 32-19 earlier in the Six Nations. Raya's holding onto the ball. Tony's gone down. The Arsenal fans think Brentford are time wasting.
They may well be. It's difficult to tell, but to be fair, the work that Tony has put in this game has been absolutely incredible, so you wouldn't be surprised if he has got a little bit of a cramp there or a little bit of strain in his leg. He's put a huge amount of effort in, as have every Brentford player there, defending when they have to, but when they break intelligently but with such pace. They've worked incredibly hard, but don't take anything away from Arsenal. They're not just a soft team that likes to play passes in neat little positions. They're a team that work for each other as well. It's a tough one to take for Mikel Arteta if they don't get it, because quite simply they have not played badly.
Well, we'll try and bring you the thoughts of Mikel Arteta during Sports Report coming up with Mark Chapman. Northampton have equalised at Rochdale. We will go to Crystal Palace, Brighton. Sahel Sahi.
We're into the last minute of time added on here, Ian. It's still Crystal Palace 1, Brighton 1, and Alexis McAllister missed a golden opportunity. I make that 5 chances he's missed during this game. Crystal Palace 1, Brighton 1.
Mikel Arteta is still in the ear of Simon Hooper. I mean, that's been a lengthy delay for Ivan Toney. We had a minimum of 5. I think we could go on for at least another 5 minutes from now.
Yeah, no, and you wouldn't be surprised at that at all. And it'd probably be quite right. And of course, Tony's just come straight back on. There's nothing wrong with him. And the Mee injury when he went down, that helped him a huge amount. Not only the time wasting, but the rest they got.
Arsenal were looking for an 8th successive win in London derbies. It would have neared what is their best in their league history in the late 80s. But Brentford have put a spanner in the works with that Toney equaliser. As the ball is played forward, there could be a real sting in the tail here because Brentford have got a corner kick.
It's not what they want, is it? It's not what Arsenal want at this point in time. And Brentford, they're licking the lips of that because they scored from a set piece beforehand. Well, you know, the break up a play afterwards, they're going to do their usual thing. They're going to have a bunch of players back in there. Look at every single player on this pitch, apart from the goalkeeper and the guy taking the corner, is in the 18-yard line. Is in the Arsenal 18-yard line. You almost never see that.
We're in stoppage time. We're in the 5th minute of stoppage time. It was a minimum of 5. Brentford in their sky blue shirts at 1-1 have a corner kick far side the left. Jensen to take the corner, looking to flick it on at the near post was Norgard. Zinchenko then was fouled by Norgard, and the Arsenal players have reacted angrily, and now we have a melee inside that penalty area, and it's a watching brief for referee Peter Banks, and whilst that ensues, we've got a goal at Cardiff. Laura Kenyon.
Cardiff 1, Middlesbrough 3. The promotion chasers extend their lead through Riley McGree. Clinical strike in the 90th minute against the run of play. Heartbreak for Cardiff, pulling all the strings this second half, slipping into the relegation zone. Cardiff 1, Borough 3.
That'll be a 3rd straight defeat for Sabri Lamucci. Middlesbrough have won 10 of their last 12, but it matters not because Burnley and Sheffield United just keep on winning at the top of the table. Has the dust settled yet after that little fracas?
Just about. I think the referee's given himself a wee bit of time, and he's also given the VAR a wee bit of time to look at it, see if there's been anything really vicious happening. And is that Ivan Toney going down again with another injury? Honestly, I'm pushing it now. There's hardly been any football played in these extra 5 minutes. I mean, they have to understand it should be added on, and more importantly, I've got a train to catch.
Well, waiting to come on is Kevin Schade. Tony has gone down. They've indicated that they want to make the change, but certainly, I mean, the referee will just keep adding this on.
We'd hope so, and he should do. It's the right thing to do, and obviously Tony, clever player. He's been down injured in the middle of the park, so there's none of this just walking 2 yards to the side. He knew what he's doing there, that if he had any sort of injury, he'll make sure it takes an eternity to go off. So that's 3 stoppages we've had now during injury time.
And I'll be honest with you, because of the amount of stoppages and the time wasting, it's hard to gauge how much longer at the discretion of the referee he'll play for, because by my watch, we had a minimum of 5. We're now into the 7th minute already, and Tony is ambling his way off to be replaced by Schade, who's on loan.
There should be another 3. There should be another 3. Minimum, there should be another 3. They hardly kicked the ball in this period of time.
So, 1-1. Ramsdale to take the free kick. Plymouth 3, Portsmouth 1 as the latest score in League One. A 3rd goal for Plymouth at home park. Ball is launched long by Ramsdale. That was Saka, who was challenged. He's gone down. The referee hasn't given the free kick. Instead, he has given a throw-in to Arsenal. Wraith have knocked out Motherwell in the Scottish Cup. Wraith Rovers 3, Motherwell 1. Sports Report is coming up, and we're about 5 minutes away from that.
I don't think Saka's, I mean, he's definitely not acting there. There's no reason why he should do, at this point in the game. They want to go on with the game. I suspect he went up for the ball and just tweaked his ankle, just rolled it a little bit, because Arsenal had a chance to get the ball into the box from the throw-in.
Norgard was booked, by the way, after that little melee before. That's just confirmation of a late yellow card. Hobbling is Saka. It's a throw on the right-hand side. It's a long one into the penalty area. Pinnock climbs high to head it away. Back towards Partey, to Ødegaard. Ødegaard on the edge of the area, lays it out towards Partey. Partey chips over the cross towards the far post. Headed back by Gabriel. Headed away. Schade is back there, and he'll win it. Out of play, it goes for a throw. Arsenal take it quickly. We're in the 8th minute of added on time. Schade fouls Zinchenko. Free kick to Arsenal.
I don't think that was deliberate there. Then he's going to try to get the ball. Had he won the ball there, which he went for against Zinchenko, he was through. He had 70 yards to make, but he was through there. He didn't just miss the ball. Free kick, so it's Arsenal's chance to put it into the box.
Deafening noise inside the Emirates. 1-1 on 5 Live in the World Service. Arsenal have a free kick.
There's not many people left this game tonight, have they?
Certainly haven't.
Anything could happen in these last seconds.
This could be such a pivotal moment in the title race if Arsenal can get a dramatic winner to go 8 points clear. They currently stand 6 clear of Manchester City. Barrow 0, Newport 1 is the latest score in League 2. Vieira to take it, about 10 yards in from the left touch line, just shy of 30 yards out from goal. Fulham have beaten Nottingham Forest 2-0, that is a result at Craven Cottage. Vieira, in it comes now, too close to the goalkeeper surely, and Raya dives forward.
Oh, the keepers went down on it, and there's a 3-on-2. Oh, the Brentford players say, why didn't you come and play quickly? And the referee's blown up, and I don't think he gave enough time there.
I don't think he's given enough time either. Arsenal have dropped points. Brentford have put a spanner in the works. Tony's header, 16 minutes from time to cancel out that Trossard goal. Reaction to come in Sports Report after it's finished. Arsenal 1, Brentford 1. Mark.